Hey guys, welcome to Green Bean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if abandoned Deku fell in love with Momo? Part 1. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are interested in MHA fanfictions. This story is Don't Let Go by Warrior Dragon 215. Now without wasting any more time, let's dive in. It was cloudy that day, looking like it was going to rain. As I sat up to look outside, I smiled, a little happy to go see the doctors, wanting to know what kind of quirk I had. Yet for some reason there was some sickening feeling in my stomach. Ignoring it, I got up to go to the bathroom, getting ready for the day, before I headed down the staircase. Hearing the clattering of dishes inside the kitchen, listening to my parents' slight whispers of words. Before heading inside the kitchen, I immediately get a cheerful smile from my mother. "Good morning, Izu. Ready to learn what your quirk is?" My mother asks me. I gave her a huge grin. Nodding my head excitedly, my mother giggles. "Yup. I wonder if it's gonna be as awesome as All Might's," I yelled excitedly, before jumping into a seat at the table. My father sitting across from me. He chuckled before going back to reading today's newspaper. Mom coming around and handing me my breakfast, before she goes back and grabs Dad's breakfast, handing it to him before grabbing hers and sitting down. She smiled and started eating. Seeing her eat, I knew that I could too. Grabbing my chopsticks, I started to eat my rice omelet. Munching on my food, I completely ignored everything around me, only slightly listening as my parents as they talked. "What if he doesn't gain a quirk, dear?" Inko asks her husband. He quickly turns to her and glares. Furiously speak towards her, he whispers darkly. "Our son doesn't get a fucking quirk. I'm leaving your ass. Got that, bitch?" Inko tears up at his harsh words, her lip quivering a bit. Then she looks towards Izuku. Izuku pretended to not be paying attention. All she sees is him not paying attention to them. She felt like crying when she thought about her husband's words again. Looking back towards her husband, she gets on her knees. "Please don't leave me. He will get a quirk. If he doesn't, we can get rid of him. Then we can try again. Just please don't leave me," she begs him. He turns towards her, a scowl on his face. *TCH** fucking fine. He doesn't get one, he is fucking gone. "Oh no, forget that, I'll make him regret it altogether. And you will give me another child. You fucking owe me one if he doesn't. Also lose some fucking weight, you're a fat ass," he says before getting up, shoving Inko to the ground before brushing past her. Not even caring if she was hurt or not. To be honest, she didn't even care. She just smiled really big. "Thank goodness. He won't leave me." Izuku finishes his food right afterwards. Looking up from his plate, he frowns. Not seeing his father anywhere in sight, he sees his mother on the floor, tears in her eyes. He quickly jumps down from his chair, before running over to her in worry. Hugging his mom, he looks up at her with big eyes. "Why are you crying, mama? Is everything okay? Are you hurt? Where is Papa?" he asks, more worried about his mother's well-being. His mother gave him a smile, not knowing that he actually heard everything. "Everything is all right, Izu. Your father is getting ready. You should too," she says before getting off the floor. Brushing herself off, she nudges him out of the kitchen. Izuku nods his head slowly before running up the stairs. Running towards his room, he grabs some stuff, before grabbing his All Might backpack, stuffing his bag with all his stuff. He grabs a pair of shoes from the closet. He takes his shoes and backpack before going back downstairs. Seeing his mother and father at the door, both of them putting on their shoes, Izuku quickly runs over as his parents finished putting on his shoes as fast he could, before he puts on his bag quickly. His mother grabs his hand as they walked out the door. The small family of three walked down the street, Izuku holding his mother's hand, while his father had one of his hands in his pocket, the other also holding Inko's other more free hand. Inko having a huge smile on her face. Making it to the doctor's office, they walked inside. Inko signs them in before they all sat down in the waiting room. Izuku trying to be patient and not run around the office. Since he is still a child after all, it was quite difficult. You see, Izuku already knew about his father's anger issues, so he tried not to anger his father. Others may think his father is all nice and everything, simply because his father put up this fake persona. Yet Izuku saw his father yelling and slapping his mother, making him slightly terrified of his father. So when they are out or even in their home, Izuku tried to always be on his best behavior, not wanting to cause any trouble. Even if it made everyone outside of the house confused, he still did it, which helped his mother not get hurt as much. Izuku sits in his chair reading a book from home, quietly waiting for the doctor to call for him. His parents on the left side of him, the two of them whispering about stuff. He could slightly hear his father make silent some curse words under his breath, making Izuku flinch once in a while, going unnoticed by his parents or anyone else around. That was when the doctor came in the room. Midoriya. Izuku. Ah yes, right here, Mr. Doctor, I say before getting off the chair, putting my book back in my bag, then running up to the man, my backpack being on my back. The man chuckles when he saw me. My parents walking towards us slowly. My father's hand on my mother's back. He gives the doctor a smile. Well, it's nice to meet you. I am Dr. Yoriki. Yoriki says before holding out his hand to shake. I shook his hand as well as my parents. The man smiles, signaling for us to follow him. I did as told, not want to get yelled at. Seeing the office door after a little walk away, jumping onto the exam table with a little difficulty. Yet I make sure they didn't have to help me. I quickly fix myself. Hearing the doctor chuckle a bit. My parents looked at him confused as they didn't see what happened, making me sigh in relief because I didn't want to cause trouble. The doctor smiles once more, before he shakes his head. Okay, we will be doing some tests. I would be doing them usually, yet I want my intern to learn some more, making him do something more hands-on. So I will be allowing him to do it this time. I hope you guys don't mind. He tells us. My parents nodded their heads. I just shrugged, not knowing what he meant. Another guy walked in right after he finished explaining everything. The intern quickly does some tests, before walking out of the room. A little bit later he comes in. I lean over curious, until he told me something I never wanted to hear. Something I wish he never said. I'm sorry. It seems you don't have a quirk. He frowns when he said that. He explains some things to my parents. My father and mother walking out right afterwards. So did the intern, not realizing I didn't leave. While I sat there in tears. Not realizing my parents left me at the doctor's office. Yoriki on the other doctor quickly rushes back in room. Looking around he sees me sitting there. He sighs in relief. I am so sorry. My intern messed up on the machines. Do you mind if we do it again? Where did your parents go? He says once he realized my parents weren't here anymore. I looked around and frowned. They left me here. They're gone. I don't mind doing it again. I tell him and looked down. He nodded and redid the tests, leaving once he finished them the second time. Waiting for him to come back, I started thinking. Papa said he would hurt me if I didn't have a quirk. He said he would get rid of me. He would leave Mama. They left without hearing the real results. They hate me, don't they? Should I even go back home? Yoriki comes back into the room. He had a big smile on his face, putting up the image once more. He turns back to the small child before him. Izuku looks up with hope in his eyes. The doctor not seeing all the other feelings he hid inside. Yoriki clears his throat. Okay, we redid the tests. The image before us being the correct one. Izuku, you indeed have a quirk. I mean, to be exact, you have quirks. You are going to be an amazing hero. To be honest, I feel you might become the #1 hero. You are going to go far in life, kid. I can see it now. Here, have my card. I would gladly be your personal doctor. Yoriki tells Izuku, giving the boy a card. Izuku nods and smiles happily, slightly tearing up from the new news he got. Regaining his emotions, he looks back up so he can hear the next part. The doctor smiles before continuing. Your quirks are. Okay, let's see here. You have Cheshire, the man says. Cheshire power. Cheshire gives a flexible body like a cat. It also make you more mischievous like the Cheshire. Not only that, you can make illusions and teleport. Weakness. While you have these amazing abilities, if used too long, you may teleport to different places. Your personality will also change for a little while. If you pass out while you used it too much, your illusions will give you nightmares. Overall, Cheshire is a semi-strong quirk in this world. You have summoning. Summoning power. The user can summon things. More specifically, the user has a space for weapons and things. While in a different space, the user can summon monsters. Or maybe the user wants to summon cartoon people or video game people they saw. The user can do this. Weakness. While that is good and amazing, summoning for too long gives an effect like Cheshire. You will be warping into these summoning places, which you won't know where you are until it's too late. Some of them could be quite dangerous. Overall, summoning is considered a strong quirk. You have 2 more quirks. They aren't that strong in some people's eyes. Yet don't be fooled. They could be quite powerful. They're called punishment and emotions. It doesn't sound like much, huh? Yoriki says, laughing at the end. Punishments. Power. The user can punish some who has done anything wrong. Yet the user can also kill that person too. Weakness. Anything they have done. The user will be haunted and have nightmares. They will also become more sadistic the more they use it. The nightmares still going but not affecting the user. Overall is claimed to be weak, yet is a strong power. Emotions. Power. The ability to change people's emotions and thoughts. They can also take their pain and emotions, or give that person new emotions. Yet not pain. Only emotional and mental pain can be given. They can take physical pain. Weakness. This will cause the user have thoughts. They will think more if used too much, making the rethinking everything. They will have nightmares also, making them more tense. One more thing, the user will want pain, making them want to hurt themselves, becoming more masochistic. Overall, this power is considered weak, yet can become strong. Izuku processes all the new information. He grins really big before leaping of the table, hugging the doctor before him, nodding his head, signaling to the doctor. It's perfect. Thank you so much. I thought I would never be a hero. I'm so happy. Izuku says, tearing up. The doctor bends down and puts his hand on Izuku's shoulder. Izuku starts to cry while Yoriki comforts him. You'll be an amazing hero. I would love to help you when I can. You have my card now, so call me when you need me. Train hard, just not too hard. You're only a kid after all. I have no doubt that you will make it to number 1. Yoriki tells Izuku before smiling. Izuku nods before rubbing his eyes, giving Yoriki a determined smile before telling him one last thing. Before he left the doctor's office. Don't you worry, you will be my number 1 doctor. I will also show and prove to you that you were right. I will become the number 1 hero. Izuku exclaims. Running down the street, he runs home. Happy yet also nervousness was running all the way to his bones. He remembered that his parents left him for a reason, so he wasn't sure why he was going back to them. Will they even want me? I have a quirk. I have 4 of them. Making it to his front door, he knocked, not wanting to make a bad decision. He hears footsteps walking to the door. Before his mother opened it, a frown clear on her face, tears also streaming downward, a bruise on her cheek showing that she got hit. Izuku frowns before something told him to help. Izuku wanting so badly to help. He listened to the feeling, taking away the pain from his mother, making it his own. Inko not even knowing this. She grabs his arm and threw him towards the stairs. She shuts the door before looking at the poor boy. Gritting her teeth, she scowls. Look at what you did. Look at it. This is all your fault. Why couldn't you have got a fucking quirk? It wasn't that hard. You ungrateful child. You were so selfish, you know that. Go to your room. No dinner. I don't even want to see your face. Don't even make a peep. Your father left and won't even come and see me until a week from now. All because of you. I can't believe I had a child like. Ah. Inko screams in anger before stomping her foot on the ground. Crying in sorrow, she falls to her knees. Izuku standing up, slowly walking up the stairs. Before making it fully up, he takes his mother's pain and sadness away once more. He hated it when his mom was sad and hurting. Walking into his room, he shuts his door quietly. Before he starts to cry, cleaning his room as his tears fall. He wanted to be better. Mama is right. I'm selfish. Why can't I be better? All I cause is pain to the people around me. I deserve this. Every bit of this I deserve. Izuku curls up into a ball and cries. His pain and suffering echoing through the room. Yet no one heard it. Not even his mother, who stood at his door, hand up ready to knock. Her conscience making her realize what she just did. Knock knock. Izu. Hey sweetheart. It's not your fault, I'm sorry. Mommy is just upset right now. You forgive me, right? Inko says through the door. Izuku looks up and clears his throat. Another thing his mother couldn't hear. He wipes his tears. What are you talking about, mama? I forgave you the moment you did it. I still love you. That night Izuku did exactly what his mother told him. He stayed in his room, not making a peep, and didn't have dinner. Inko got worried but forgot about it in the end. As the week continued onward, nothing changed once. Inko continued to abuse Izuku mentally, physically and emotionally. Afterwards she would apologize for what she has done. Izuku responding the same each time. I forgave you the moment you did it. I will always still love you. The pain never stopping for him. Yet no matter what happened, he just kept on smiling. Even when his father came home after the week was up. Even when everything just kept getting worse and worse for him. He kept smiling, immediately forgiving the people around them for their wrongdoings. Izuku, get your ass down here. You father's home. Inko yelled downstairs in anger. Izuku scrambled downstairs, fixing himself before he faced his father. Already knowing what would happen when he came, he said he would make Izuku regret everything. Opening the door to the kitchen, he was immediately welcomed with a fist. You! Izuku cried as he hit the living room wall, after flying across the room. You fucking ungrateful piece of shit. Couldn't have gotten a quirk, could you? Now you are going to fucking regret it. You hear me? Izuku's father yelled before he start hitting Izuku. Blood splattering across the floor. Before hearing a sickening crack, telling everyone something broke. Yet his father continued to abuse Izuku, even after they heard that several more times. Leaving right afterwards he left, leaving Izuku in a pool of his own blood, not caring if he was dead or alive. Inko stared at the both of them in horror, before she ran to her husband, leaving Izuku lying there on his own. As he lied there passed out on the ground, he thought about everything, yet no matter what, he still loved them to the very end. Waking up he slowly and careful stood. Grabbing the phone he called someone who could help him heal just for a bit. Until the next beating. Grabbing the phone he calls Yoriki. After a few rings the call goes through. Hello, this is Dr. Yoriki speaking. May I know who this is? Yoriki answers on the other side of the phone. Izuku chokes up before replying back. Cough cough tea, this is Midoriya is Izuku. Izuku says before gasping for air, knowing something was wrong when he saw black in his eyes. He lost way too much blood that he shouldn't even be alive. The only thing can hear is yelling on the other end. Later Yoriki bursts into the house, seeing a unconscious Izuku on the ground. A pool of blood around the poor boy. Grabbing Izuku and leaving the house, Yoriki takes Izuku somewhere safe. A place where no one could find the young boy. A place where this man had other children like him. Izuku not realizing what he just did to himself. All he knew at the moment is that he called someone he thought he could trust. When really, he just signed his death certificate. Walking through the locked rooms in the hallway, Yoriki brings Izuku to a room. Dimly lit lights and chipped white walls. Dried up blood on the ground, and some other unknown substances. Yoriki quickly and swiftly puts Izuku on a metal table. Various tools on a small table next to him. Yoriki gives a huge grin before leaving the room. When a secret door opens up within the walls. This person being shorter than Yoriki. If you saw them, you might mistake them as a child. This shorter male having brownish black hair. The style being a slight shorter and balder. He not tan but not white either. He wore a white lab coat, along with a blue shirt, and black slacks. Pair them with a pair of black dress-up shoes, and glasses. The man shuffles over to Izuku's body, staring down the small boy. Giving a scoff the man, healing Izuku before grabbing a clipboard with some papers. Looking through them the man grins, before writing something down and leaving. The same way he came. Yoriki grabs Izuku and brings him into one of the locked rooms. Yet if talk to the other people sent here, they would call the rooms cells and torture rooms. Nobody ever wanted to go to the red room. They say whoever went in, never came out the same, if they came out at all. Guess which room Izuku was sent to? It's been years since I've got here. I'm officially 10 years old now. Stuck in an old and rotting cell. No one ever coming around except for the guards. My mind constantly screaming at me along with my body. The pain I felt from all the past tortures. Even ones that were recent or from the other day. All I felt was pain. That's all I knew nowadays. Every day they came into my cell, dragging me out by my hair, bringing me to the red room. The worst room you could ever go to. They tortured, tested, experimented and basically tore you apart. Everything you knew about yourself. It was stripped away from you. They gave you no remorse whatsoever. They didn't care, even if I was only 5 at the time. They loved to hear my screams of pain. They loved every bit of it. They even laughed as they did it. I felt like an animal. I'm caged inside an old decaying building. I haven't seen another person in forever. Well, besides these guards. Yet they won't speak to you. If spoke to them they will send you back to the red room. You will probably wonder what the room is. Let's just say it's worse than death. I laid on the floor of my cell, still feeling the effects from my last torture session. This one felt worse than all the rest. I couldn't even feel my body. I couldn't even feel the pain. It scared me. I couldn't feel anything in my body. It made me wonder if I was even alive anymore. Yet the knocking outside my cell door told me a different story. It was so loud it hurt my ears. I heard some yelling before my door slammed into the wall. There before me were some heroes. One of them ran over to me, asking me something yet I couldn't hear. My body was giving out. That was when I blacked out. Just like how I got into this situation. Something I regretted. Will this time be different? Waking up inside a white room. I immediately freaked out, thinking I was back inside the red room, as it was quite similar, causing me to go into a slight ink attack. Hearing a machine beeping, I shoot up from my bed as I looked around the room, noticing that I wasn't chained to the bed, like I would have been if I was in the red room. I sighed in relief. Looking around some more, I noticed that no one was in here. Getting up and trying to get out of bed, I groaned in pain, noticing a needle was in my arm. Pulling it out slowly I sighed in relief, before trying once more to stand up, until I heard footsteps coming down the hallways. Getting startled I jumped and ran hiding behind a chair in the room. Just in time as someone opened the door. An older woman in a white lab coat, holding a clipboard looked around the room, as Izuku studied her from afar. When he makes eye contact with the woman, he squeals in fear, not noticing the older woman frown in worry. Hello, my name is Chiyo Shuzenji, also known as the youthful heroine recovery girl. Yet forget about the formalities. You can call me grandma if you would like. May I know your name? Recovery girl asks him. Izuku looks up yet doesn't get out of his hiding spot. Izu. He looks down really quickly, before looking at her again. Izu, she asks. He shakes his head and tries once more. Iizzuku. He stutters out, before he nods his head. Well, it's nice to meet you, Izuku. Do you have a last name by any chance? She asks him, trying to get more information. Which worked, as Izuku nodded his head and started to answer her question. It's Midoriya, he stutters out. She nods her head and gives him a smile. Well, Midoriya, Izuku, it's really nice to meet you, she says, giving him a kind smile, which helped Izuku feel more relaxed, which in the end made Izuku come out of his hiding spot. Instead he sits on the chair, watching her curiously. She grabs her clipboard and looked at it, frowning a bit when she read the information. It seems that you have been missing for 5 years now. Your parents must be very worried about you. Yet let's forget about that right now. How are you doing, Izuku? She asks him. This would the first time someone would ask him. It also wouldn't be the last time either. Each time he would make sure the answer wouldn't hurt others. So he would, I don't know, bend the truth a bit. Oh, I'm fine, he tells her and gives her a smile. A very adorable smile at that, causing the older woman to blush at his cuteness. Izuku just looks down and swings his legs back and forth. The woman then does some tests really quick, checking how his body was healing. Seeing that his body was doing really good, she smiles and nods her head, before writing everything down on her clipboard. Then she leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Izuku just sits on the bed and continues to swing his legs. Then he hears a couple knocks on his door. He jumps a bit startled and looks at the door. Mr. Midoriya, I hope we aren't bothering you. We have some questions we would like for you to answer. If you don't mind, that is. Someone asks on the other side of the door. Izuku shudders in response before finally replying. See come I in. Izuku replies a bit scared of the situation. That's when 5 new people walked into the room. Realizing who one of them is immediately. They were mostly heroes and one of them was my idol. He was my hero. Ha 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 ha. Hello young Midoriya, how are you today? Yelled the one and only All Might. Recap. Ha 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 ha. Hello young Midoriya, how are you today? Yelled the one and only All Might. Back to the story. Izuku looks at him surprised that he cared. A shocked face on he stops swinging his legs. He sighed a bit under his breath. Then he gives all of them a fake smile. Before he replied back to them. Saying the same thing he said to Recovery Girl. Yet nobody realized his sigh or the fake smile. Oh. I'm fine. Izuku says before continuing to swing his legs. Everyone nods their heads happy with the reply. Even though it was a lie. A lie they didn't notice or hear. They only heard what they wanted to. A guy with a dog head coughs. Everyone straightening up a bit. Izuku just looks at them weirdly. Before the police dog talked. Midoriya, we have some questions to ask you. Can you please answer them to the best of your abilities? The guy dog asks him. Izuku nods his head hesitantly. The man smiles and nods his head. So, you've been in that building for how many years? He asks Izuku. Izuku thinks for a while. Before telling them his thoughts. So I got there when I was 5. I'm now 10. So, 5 years now, he states, shocking everyone in the room. Before another question was being questioned. Okay, can you tell us how you ended up there? He asked. Izuku looked down and shook his head. Regretting everything he started to cry. Causing everyone to panic. Hey, it's okay. You don't need to tell us anything. You are safe now. A woman in a black and white scandalous costume says. Izuku nods but holds onto her tightly. Please don't let them take me again. He cries to her shoulder. You will never go back to that place again. That room is somewhere you will never see again. She says. Izuku panics a bit, before screaming and trying to get away from her. Making everyone freak out. He continues to cry and scream. Even after she let go it looked like he was trying to get away from someone or something. He has PTSD. Just give him some space. Someone said. After a while later with the help of some meds. Izuku finally calmed down, making everyone relax. Izuku, are you alright? The woman asks him. Izuku nods his head and smiles. Pretending like nothing happened until something happened. Izuku, we took the liberty of calling your parents. They should be here any moment now. After these words a whole other incident happened. No, get away from me. I can't go back. They hate me. They hate me. Izuku kept screaming as he tried to find a way out. Some of the heroes trying to stop him. Only for him fight back with them. Until Recovery Girl walked in the room. Izuku calming down and running to her. She smiled sadly and hugged him. What's wrong Izu? She asked him as she combed his hair back. I can't go back there. Papa hates me. He hurt me. I called the doctor and I passed out from blood loss. The doctor took me away. Then I woke up in that place. Papa said he would make me pay. That it was all my fault. Mama would yell and hurt me. She says she is sorry. I forgive them. It hurts. Izuku cries into her shirt. She frowned as well as everyone else. The police office frowns even more. He didn't have proof. So they couldn't take him away from the two. So this boy had to go back. Whether they liked it or not. He had to. All they could do is watch and wait. Maybe for the couple to slip up. Maybe for them to catch some bruises. Even if they didn't want it to happen. It was just something they had to do. Recovery Girl held onto him tighter. Not wanting to let the poor boy go. He already been through too much. Yet he goes from one nightmare to the next and then another. He never even got much of a break. He was only 10, yet he had more experience than an adult. When he shouldn't have had to go through this stuff ever. A while later a nurse walks in the room. She taps All Might on the shoulder. Since the man was closer to the door, All Might looks over to the small nurse. She smiles and tells him. Mr. Midoriya's parents are here. They wish to see him. She tells him. Everyone stiffens at the news. All Might laughs nervously, before nodding his head. Oh yes of course. he yells before looking at the ground. The nurse nods her head, before walking back out the door saying, "I'll tell them they can come back." Izuku stiffens in Recovery Girl's arms. She holds onto him tighter, before she whispered in his ear, "It's okay, Izu. We won't let them hurt while we are here." Izuku nods his head and she carries him to the bed. "Now Izuku." Before they walk in, "Here." She hands him a phone. He hesitantly grabs it. "Hide this. It has all our numbers in it. If you need us, call us." "Okay." She asks him. He nods his head hesitantly. After he hid the phone, his parents walked inside the room. Inko conjured up some fake tears. Running to him, she cries into his shoulder. While his father silently walked into the room, the heroes walked out of the room along with the policeman. Except Recovery Girl, she stays there, pretending to be writing stuff down, making sure they didn't hurt Izuku. His father walks over and smiles, hugging Izuku a little too tightly. Not that anyone noticed what he was doing. He was actually a very good actor. Recovery Girl writes something down and walks over. After his father stopped the hug, Recovery Girl checks some stuff, before making a final diagnosis. "Okay, it seems you are healing pretty well. Yet I think you stay in the hospital for a while longer. So you should be able to go home by next week," she says before walking out of the room, scaring Izuku. "Another week, huh? Then you will go home," Inko says. His father walks up to him and whispers in his ear, "Welcome back to hell, son," he says. A week later and Izuku was leaving the hospital, going back to his so-called home, which in truth it's hell. When he got out of the hospital, all was not well for him. His father immediately started back with the abuse. Izuku never got a break from it. If it wasn't his father, it was his mother. Back to beating and apologizing later. Yet for some reason he still loved them. Except that he never felt safe. He was always on edge. His bruises and scars littered his skin. The pain he felt became his comfort. So when he finally got a break, he felt uneasy and his anxiety made him sick. So he resorted to cutting and hurting himself. More scars littering his skin. His screams he made became silent, making his father angry with Izuku. Yet Izuku didn't even flinch when the punishments got worse. His emotions were no more. No tears were left for him. He was stuck in the endless pit of darkness. Where was the heroes when you needed them? Izuku tried using the phone they gave him. Yet nothing. No one ever answered. Was it faulty? Was this on purpose? Why wouldn't they answer his calls for help? Why wouldn't anyone help? After a while school started once more for him, which made him so happy. He was happy that he could get away, even if it was just for a little bit. Maybe he could see Kachan again. So when he finally went to school, he just skipped through the gates, throwing the bad stuff behind him, pretending to be happy, which he was. Yet he was also scared. Walking into the building, he got his schedule, being led to his new classroom, greeted by his teachers. Then came his introduction to his new classmates, which he absolutely butchered in the kid's opinion. Hello. My name's Midoriya Izuku. It's Nick, nice to meet you, he says to the class, smiling at the end. Even though he stuttered, he tried not to do it. He was proud of himself. Until someone yelled, "Ha ha ha, my name. Ha 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 ha, he's stutter freak," someone yelled, which caused the whole class to laugh at him. Izuku looked upset. The teacher tried stopping the other students. Izuku then noticed Katsuki sitting in the back. He was laughing and pointing at him. He was the one who said it, making Izuku crumble. Sitting in his seat, he looked out the window. He could hear the whispers of his classmates around him, followed by their laughter. They were all talking about him badly. Katsuki was laughing with his friends, telling them about watching him. Izuku looks over just to get hit in the face, a bottle falling to the ground. As the teacher yelled about who did it, Katsuki and his group of friends laughing like crazy, giving the teacher an idea that it was them. "Katsuki, that's detention," the teacher yells, while Katsuki yelled at him. "What? Why me? What the fuck did I do?" he yells at the teacher, while he slammed his hands on the desk in anger. Izuku just turned back towards the window, when Katsuki yelled at him. "Hey, you fucking nerd, tell him that I didn't do it," he yells. Izuku sighs and looks at everyone. The frown was evident on his face. The teacher stiffened a bit, as Izuku gave everyone cold and empty eyes. Before Izuku smiled once more, trying to cover up that fact. The class looks at him weirdly. Before Izuku finally spoke up, his voice is normal yet no one noticed the emptiness behind it. How am I supposed to know who threw it? I wasn't even paying attention to that. I just know that I got hit by some bottle. Anyways, who cares? It happened. Can we get back to work? Izuku says to them. The teacher sighs but nods his head, while Katsuki looks at Izuku weirdly. Before everyone just got back to work for the day. This became one of the many days he got hurt. Each day he said the same thing, pushing away all the pain and any help he got. Well, if he got any, if that is. After a while, the teacher just stopped caring, joining in with the students, laughing and pulling pranks on the poor kid. Izuku kept smiling though, putting all the pain behind him. At least, that's what everyone thought. I walked to the bathroom after another beating from Kachan, pulling a blade from my pocket. After I went into a stall, pulling up my sleeves, I started cutting, putting 14 cuts on each arm. Yet it wasn't enough, so I put a couple more. Feeling the pain gave me a sense of safety. I started cutting a week after I came home from school that day. I realized how comforting the pain felt. It felt so good that I couldn't stop. Sighing, I cleaned up my mess and wrapped my wounds. Walking out of the stall, I cleaned and dried my blade, not wanting anyone knowing it's in my pocket, knowing that they would take it away from me. Even though I have tons of other blades on me, I have 3 in my backpack and a pocket knife in my pocket, which is what I just cleaned. Walking towards the door to leave, the door opens, revealing Katsuki. Widening my eyes, I smiled a bit. Not that he noticed. Katsuki has become my #1 bully. Yet I still think of him as my best friend. I hear him laughing in front of me. There you are, Deku, he says, grabbing a hold of my shirt, before throwing me into the wall behind me. Slamming into the wall, I grunt in pain, before getting punched in the stomach by one of his goons, being held down by the other 2, as Katsuki used his quirk, burning Izuku, as Izuku screamed in pain, making them all laugh at him, until Izuku passed out from blood loss. Waking up, Izuku looks around to see it's dark. Nobody around in the bathroom. Blood was all around him and Izuku sighed. Picking up his stuff, he starts cleaning the mess. This is one of the many days of pain. None of the heroes coming to save him. He was stuck there in hell. All those years have passed once more. Cutting became a habit for him. A very bad habit. Yet he didn't care. Middle school was almost over. Today was the last day. Then the UA exams would start. He would have 3 months to train. Yet that wouldn't matter. He has already been training. That's all he had to do. Besides homework and cutting, he also had a secret place he would go to. He was the only one who knew about it. It was a treehouse in the middle of the woods. He would stay there when he needed to get away, especially when he felt trapped, which was all the time. Yet he couldn't leave all the time. They would become suspicious. So Izuku mostly left during the night. That was when most of the villains came out. He became friends with them. They were his heroes. They would protect him. They treated him like he was family, which gave him a sense of security, which he never had before. One night he heard something. Walking to his secret place, he heard a girl scream in the night. Running to the sound, he saw a girl. She was around his age. Black hair in a ponytail. She was being thrown around by some guys, grabbing onto her and throwing her back and forth, laughing when she started crying. They were hitting on her and then threw her to the ground. Her blood splattered on the floor, when one of them stabbed her in her hand. Her screams echoed through the alleyway, as her tears fell onto the ground. She laid there crying as one of them grabbed her, trying to do something to her. As Izuku ran and kicked them in the face, the guy falls into his group of friends. Get the fuck away from her, Izuku yelled at them, making the guys laugh in his direction. Izuku growls and throws a punch in their direction. Crouching down in a fighting position, he jumps and kicks one of them in the face, before he tackles another one to the ground, rapidly throwing punches, doing a backflip backwards as one tried to grab him. As he did the backflip, he kicked him in the face. All of the guys were now on the ground. Izuku smiles a bit. walking over to the girl on the ground. When I heard one of them getting back up, he backflips onto the guy's shoulder, before twisting and throwing him to the ground. Izuku landing on top of the guy, before giving a strong punch to his face, not once using his quirk. The girl looks at him shocked. As he held out his hand to her, she smiles and grabs it, before Izuku pulled her up. "Gee, thank you," she says to him. Izuku nods his head and looks at her. "My name is Midoriya Izuku," he tells her and holds out his hand to shake. She smiles and shakes his hand. "I'm Yaoyorozu Momo. It's nice to meet you Izuku," she tells him and he smiles. "Likewise," he replies back. If only they knew, Izuku and Momo would be together. Through thick and thin, they were meant to be together forever. It was destiny. Her and Izuku have been friends since then. Izuku trusted her so much. He showed her his secret spot, making it theirs. They became the best of friends. He just couldn't figure out something. Why his heart beated so fast around her. Why he always wanted to be near her. Why he felt jealous when others got close to her. He just couldn't figure it out. He just didn't know that she felt the same. Not yet at least. Momo also didn't want to be apart from him. She didn't want others to be close to him. She got super jealous. Until one day they both made a mistake. A girl was too close to Izuku. A guy too close to Momo. They both didn't like that. So they decided to change it. Not like the other would care if they just disappeared. So they both planned. Then set out to make the plan happen. Kidnapping the victim friend. Bring them to a deserted place no one knew about. The secret hideout. Their treehouse. Surprising each other when they got there. MMPHHMHPPH, the girl struggled against her binds. Momo dragging her to the treehouse. Momo kicks the girl hard in the side, making her scream in agony. "Shut the fuck you bitch." Momo yells again, once more kicking her, yet this time in the face. Dragging her up the tree. She makes it in the treehouse, before tying her to a chair. When she hears a bang and groaning, she looks over to see Izuku. He was holding a guy who was also tied up. Izuku looks shocked and she also gasped in shock. "I can explain," they both yelled. Before they looked confused at one another. Laughing a bit they looked at what they were doing. "Jealous Izu?" she asked before he scoffed. "I could ask you the same Mo," he tells her. She laughs before her another muffle. Then stabs the girl in the arm, which caused the girl to scream in agony. "Shut the fuck up. Don't you see I'm talking to my Izu?" she yells before stabbing her once more. Izuku laughs and ties his victim to his chair. Walking over to her he smiles, wrapping his arms around waist before kissing her. She giggles as they heard another groan. Izuku growls and walks up to the guy, before stabbing him in a not so pleasant spot. The guy screams in agony as blood starts pooling onto the floor. Backing up they both looked at their masterpiece. All their victims' blood on the floor. The two of them still alive. Yet they both were losing their blood fast. Izuku laughs a bit as he held Momo's hand. She walks over to her victim, slapping her in the face. Before she yelled, "Don't you dare fucking die. I'm not done with you yet." She then starts to torture her more, as Izuku did the same with his victim. The two of them completely losing it. Before they knew it, the two were dead, making them both sigh. Momo wrapping her arms around Izuku, as she kissed him. "They will learn soon. If not they're dead," she says, before kissing him again. He smiles before they both told each other, "You're mine, Momo, the love of Izuku's life, his queen." Before she met him, all was not well for her. It all started when she was born. Her mother being on the bed giving birth. The nurses encourage her to push. Momo coming out a second later. When they see the small baby, they all already knew this baby was gonna be beautiful. Which was true. Her beauty was unexplainable. Her parents locked her into the house, not letting the world see the girl. Buying private tutors for her, so she can study at home. Homeschooling was fine. She didn't care for a while. Until she turned 10 years old. Wondering why she couldn't leave. Why she had to stay in the house. This question wasn't answered until later on. Her parents always claimed that it was for her protection. Yet she knew she was being locked away, never being seen from society. She was trapped. She had no friends. She couldn't make any cause of the fact. Yet for some reason she had bullies still, causing the pain inside her to grow. She felt lonely and trapped. Her only sense of relief was the blade in pocket. She used all the time. Her parents not even noticing until one night. Momo sweetheart, he mother calls before opening the door, gasping in shock as she saw her daughter marking her beautiful skin. Before she grabbed her daughter by the hair, throwing her to the ground, she yells in anger. You ungrateful bitch. Packing some stuff up, she throws it at Momo. Before she yelled at her to get, saying that they didn't want a daughter like her. Momo gets up and smiles sadly. Before she walked out of the house, heading into town. Yet while she walked past an alleyway, she was suddenly pulled in. 4 men surrounding her laughing. This was the night she met the love of her life. She met him. That's the night everything changed for her. Her whole life changed. Yet most importantly, that night she changed. She never felt anything like she did that night. His voice, his looks and his personality. He was perfect. She wanted him and no one would take him away from her. She didn't even realize that he felt the same. Until that night in the treehouse. How overjoyed she felt when he said those words. You're mine. She was ecstatic. Then she learned that he wanted to become a hero. She knew that wherever he was she would follow. So she trained for those months, trying to get into the same school as him. UA, the #1 hero school. She knew that he would make it in. Question was, would she? The real story. It's been a week since the incident in the treehouse. The 2 people they killed were all over the news. No one knew where they were. Well, except Izuku and Momo, of course. Their relationship has grown over the week. The 2 of them being stuck together like glue. Momo learning everything about Izuku. Izuku learning everything about Momo. Nothing has changed between them. Every time someone would talk to one of them, their jealousy getting the best of them. Since the week 4 more people went missing. Yet they haven't gone onto the news yet. The news not even knowing who the killer is. Today the 2 of them stayed in the treehouse. Izuku, what do you want to do? In life, I mean. What's your dream school? Momo asked him as she looked up. She was on his lap relaxing. Izuku looks down at her and smiles. I want to become a hero. I want to join UA. He says to her. She nods her head in understanding. Before getting up determined, she pumps her fist in the air excited, making Izuku chuckle a bit at her. Before she turns around, determination shining in her eyes. Grabbing his shoulders, he sweat drops. Before she squealed in delight. Then I will do the same. I will train super hard. Then I will join you in UA. We'll both become heroes. Wouldn't that be fun, Izu? She yells and stands up straight, jumping up and down excited. He smiles at her softly. Before getting up and grabbing her, kissing her softly on the forehead. He nods his head as she beamed happily. How did I get so lucky? He whispers under his breath as he held her. She giggles when she heard him. Before she held onto him. I was gonna ask you that, she says. After a few moments they let go of each other. Izuku starts grabbing a bag, putting some stuff in it. Momo looks at him confused. Until her turned around and gave her a smile. You said you wanted to train hard. So let's go. We are both joining UA. Neither of us gonna be left behind. You don't get in, then I'm not joining. Izuku says, making Momo tear up. Before she latched onto him crying. That's not fair. I would feel bad if you don't get in because of me. She says crying. Izuku laughs and hugs her. Well, you shouldn't, cause we are getting in. He says to her, and let's go. She nods sadly and pumps herself up. Let's do this. She yells and throws her hands in the air, making Izuku laugh at her enthusiasm. Before they walked out of their treehouse, walking to their training area, which was near a waterfall in the woods, not that far from the treehouse. Yet not too close that it would destroy anything. This was where Izuku would train most of the time. Momo would usually sit in the treehouse and watch him. Yet now she is up close and joining him. This made her slightly happier. Izuku takes off his shirt and looks at her, seeing the blush that littered her cheeks, making him turn around and laugh. At his point of view she looked adorable. Momo takes off her sweatshirt, making Izuku stare, which caused her to be even more embarrassed. Izuku laughs and rubs the back of his neck, as Momo threw her sweatshirt at him. Okay, Let's just get started then. I want you to take 20 laps around the forest. With these weights on. Afterwards I want you to do 100 sit-ups, pull-ups, jump jacks and so on. Then you will come to me to do your training. He tells her before he started walking away. She looks at him in surprise. Wait a minute, this is just a warm-up. She yells, causing him to laugh. She growls under breath before getting to work, cursing every time she finished a lap, knowing that she had more laps to go. After finishing all her laps she fell to the floor exhausted, groaning when Izuku yells at her to finish her exercises. Getting up she starts the exercises, doing the pull-ups first, since she thought they would be easier. Big mistake on her part, since she struggled in the beginning to the very end, her arms feeling like jello afterwards. It took her several hours to finish it, making her tired and hungry. She takes a small break then moves on to the rest, these being not too bad, except the sit-ups and crunches. Her abs and whole body felt like it was a huge boulder, making it hard for her to move. She somehow manages to get up, walking slowly over to Izuku, which made him smile. Kissing her he tells her the next step. Since you haven't fully trained ever, I will start you off easy. We will do quirk training for today. Other days will be hand-to-hand combat, flexibility train and strength training, weapon training and more, so don't worry, it will split up for you, Izuku says and Momo sighs in relief. Before he said the next part. Yet you will always start with this warm-up. I might add more for you to do later on. Let's get to your quirk training, shall we? Izuku smirks at her, making her shiver in fear. He really is enjoying this. Momo sighs and starts to train, Izuku telling her to constantly use her quirk, making her food and bringing it to her, as she constantly made items, making smaller stuff and bigger stuff, trying to improve herself and her quirk. Then towards the end of the training my session, Izuku tells her to make the weapons for the training sessions for next time, which she ends up doing before passing out, her training continuing no stop for 3 months, until the next thing they know. It was the day of the exams, coming as a huge surprise for them, since they were so into their training. Yet they couldn't wait. The day of the exams, coming as a huge surprise for them. They almost forgot about them. Yet they didn't, which was relief. Izuku and Momo being prepared and ready, training for a whole 3 months. You would think that not much changed within the girl. Yet it's totally wrong. She changed a lot. She changed her looks and the way she acts. Her strength physically and mentally changed, as well as the strength of her quirk, making her a lot strong than people would think. If anything, both her and Izuku could be a hero right now, with their knowledge and strength. They both were extremely powerful together and by themselves. Yet others wouldn't know this. Just basing off their looks you wouldn't be able to tell. Since then they changed them. Not liking how people thought lowly of them. Specifically how Katsuki and everyone else thought lowly of them. Making them both upset. Momo stealing her parents' money. Well, jot technically, since they didn't take the card back. They both went on well-deserved shopping spree. They did some before the exams and after the exams too. They bought a house and everything they needed, with her parents' money and money they have earned. Their house making them feel more happy. The day of the exams passed quickly for them. Walking into the exam rooms, the hero President Mike screaming his introduction at the top of his lungs, making everyone in the room cringe at the sound, especially Izuku and Momo, yet they participated anyways. Hello everyone, are you excited for the exam? Mike yells at the group. Momo and Izuku jumping and screaming. Hell yay, they both yelled. Everyone else around them was quiet, making them laugh at their faces. President Mike then continues his speech and explanation. When a person stands up raising his hand up high, before speaking up kind of rudely. Excuse me, you spoke about 3 robots. Yet on the pamphlet you gave us there was 4. Now if this a mistake you made, it is disgraceful. Also you too, will you stop talking and yelling? This is rude and inappropriate. He yells at Mike and us. I laughed and stuck my middle finger up at him, making him gasp in shock. Very observant. Yes, there is indeed 4 robots. The 4th one is a 0-pointer. Do not engage it. He yells once more, making everyone cringe once more, as Izuku and Momo smiled at the news. So we do engage it, right Momo? Izuku whispered to her. She grins and nods her head before looking at him. Excitement clear in her eyes. As he smirks towards Mike. The hero not noticing this. As the speech went on. Momo and Izuku just studied everyone around them. Curiosity was one thing. Yet they did it for a completely different reason. They did it just in case. You never know who you would have to fight later on in life. So this was a thing they usually did. Guess it's a precaution. When Momo stands up and grabs Izuku's hand. The both of them leaving after screaming with Mike. Plus Ultra. They both then went their separate ways. Letting their hands go as they left. Izuku heading towards his exam room. A girl he saw before was in front of him. She looked terrified or nervous. So Izuku starts walking over to her. Before the guy from before stopped him. What are you doing? Are you trying to sabotage her? 'Cause I can't let you do that. He yells, causing a scene. Making Izuku growl quietly. Fuck off, asshole. I growls and shoves past him. Walking over to the girl before the siren went off. Making Izuku sigh. He then runs off as the door opened. Passing by all the other people. He charges at the robots. Taking down all the ones in the front. There being 5 of them there. He then ran farther in the exam room. Taking down another 5. Before everyone woke up from their daze. Finally joining him in the room. Making him sigh before chuckling. Destroying another 3 of them. He then sits and watches the other people. Observing them and studying their quirks. Before he got everything he needed. Jumping off the building he was on. He destroyed 7 more robots before the bell rung. Signaling that the 0 robot was coming out. Scaring a bunch of the people below. Making Izuku laugh at their faces. Before he heard a cry for help. Looking down below he saw the girl from before. She was stuck under some rubble. Izuku sighs before jumping down. Helping her, yet the robot was getting too close. Making him growl in frustration. So he used Cheshire and summoning. Climbing the walls and backflipping towards the robot. Summoning a sword he sliced and destroyed it. Before he lands safely in front of the girl. Helping her get the rubble of her. Then taking away her pain, making it his. Before he picked her up and carried her over to Recovery Girl. He gives her the girl and walks away. Leaving the school he sees Momo. Running up behind her quietly. He hugs her from behind smiling. Before that guy runs over again. You shouldn't sneak up on people. She probably doesn't want you touching her. So leave the girl alone, won't you? Are you alright, miss? He asks her and she growls. As well as Izuku, as his was jealousy getting the best of him. Walking up the guy he grabs him by his shirt. She's fucking fine, dumbass. She's my fucking girlfriend and it's best you stay away from us. Or next time I will kill you. Nice talk. Bye. Izuku whispers the last part in his ear, clearly upset. Before him and Momo left. Momo flipping him off as she walked away. Making Izuku laugh at her and kissed her. The 2 of them leaving the boy there shocked. His mouth being wide open. As people left the building. They looked at the poor boy as he still stood there. Even when the 2 was long gone. Izuku and Momo being a mystery to the heroes. As their scores were outstanding. Izuku being a bigger mystery to all. Nobody truly knowing the boy. Except Momo, of course. Question is, will they ever know him? When they got home that day. They both were still laughing. Momo grabbing the laptop and notebook. This was where they wrote all the information they needed from. Writing their observations and conclusions down within the book. Then they did more and more research. Being careful about everything. Caution was a good thing. Information was the best thing. The 2 of them had so much information. They had stuff on every hero and hero to come. No one was safe from the 2. Not even the famous All Might. They knew the well-kept secret he had. Oh dang, did he hide it good. Yet too bad for him. 'Cause the still found it. Not even the villains knew his secret, nor the heroes. Gotta say he really did a good job. Yet once you ruin a person's life, they will most likely want revenge. Which is what happened for Izuku. When he cried for help, they should have listened. Yet they never did and they probably never would have. Which upset Izuku to no end. Why didn't the heroes listen to a cry for help? Were they even heroes? Izuku knew their plans after the first call he made. The first time they didn't answer. He knew that they wouldn't save him. He knew that. He knew that he would have to save himself. That he had to become his own hero. So that's exactly what he did. Studying or observing, if you want to call it that. He studied people and their quirks. Writing all the information down to combat it in the future maybe. Izuku didn't only do heroes and heroes in training. No, he also did villains and people he saw, thinking that it would be good. You never know who you would be against in the future. So they constantly did research and observed people. Momo sat next to him, her legs across his lap with his laptop on top. The clicking and tapping of the buttons. As they both did research on the computers, wanting to know everything they could before school started. The two of them both knew that they would make it in. Call it an instinct or a gut feeling. They just knew. So when the day came, their letters from UA being in the mail, they opened them up and got the same reply back. Welcome to your hero academia. The both of them smiling in excitement, as they both prepared for school, training non-stop for this, knowing that they would have to be strong. They had to have smarts. They would have to be prepared for this. That was something they knew from the start. Yet the endless questions going through his head. Something Momo didn't know about. He was questioning whether this was real or not. Even though it obviously was. Right. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe this all was a dream. Was it a dream? Was this all real or was it not? Is this reality or was it all his imagination? Constant thoughts going through his head. Never stopping for him. It was just an endless cycle until... Beep beep beep. Izuku wakes up, breathing heavily as he looks around the room. It was bright, the lights shining in his eyes. White walls surrounding him as looked. There was a somewhat large window. White curtains draping over it. He looks out and sees it's morning. Looking down he sees stuff hooked up to him. Confused he looks towards the door. As footsteps echoed down the hall. A man walking in the room. He smiled and shut the door. Ah, it seems you finally woke up, young Midoriya. You know, though you never would have. You have been seriously hurt. Especially in your skull. The doctor tells him. Izuku looking at him highly confused. What are you talking about? Izuku says in a raspy voice before he went into a cough fit. The doctor just smiled and shook his head. I believe you have been here before. Yes, right here. Back when you were 10 years old. You went back home with your parents, I presume. Yet you kept coming back. Wounds always littering your skin. Then one day exactly 2 years ago, you came in here severely injured. You had major head trauma. You went into a coma and you just now woke up. We counted all your birthdays. You were 12 years old if you were wondering. He told him, making Izuku gasp in shock. Looking around rapidly he realized. Yeah, that's right. Yet all that happened in Momo. It's not real, it's not true. What? No no no. No 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 no. Izuku mutters under his breath over and over. Making the doctor worried as he tried to stop him. Izuku breathes in heavily and sighs. Before looking at the doctor with a smile. I'm fine. I apologize. He says before looking away. The doctor sighs but does what he needed to do and left. No one will ever truly care about you. We live in a selfish world. He muttered. Before his parents ran into the room making him frown deeply. Looking away from his parents he ignored their very existence. Making his father mad. Look at me, boy. His father growls out pissed. Izuku laughs and mocks him. Look at me, boy. So fucking scary, father. Izuku says before continuing to laugh. His mother gasps in surprise before slapping him. You can never become a hero. 'Cause the real villain is the ones who claim they are heroes. Hiding behind a disguise and claiming they would help. When they want, they will just leave you behind. Leave you rotting. You can cry and beg but they won't listen. As the so-called villains try to survive in a world of true evil. They are used for entertainment and a stepping stool by heroes. Izuku gets up and smirks evilly. Looking at his so-called mother. As she stared at him, his father just watching. As his thoughts finally said to him. Now Izuku, what are you? Izuku laughs at his thoughts. Knowing that it was all true. His laughter scaring his mother. Her stepping back a bit. Slapping his mother in her face. He glares at his so-called father. Before the door opens up. The doctor walking into the room. Looking at the scene before him. He stares in shock before he went to stop Izuku. Only for Izuku to disappear before their eyes. He appears in a familiar place. A place he has been in his dreams. A familiar large mansion in his view. Walking around, He goes to a familiar window. Inside the window, a young girl sits. A frown was evident on her lips as her blackish-brown hair laid on her shoulder. Izuku breathed in as he stared at her beauty. She was beautiful in his eyes. He ducks down as she turned his way. Momo looks out her window. Noticing a blackish-green blur disappears. Thinking about the dreams she had, she sighed, secretly wishing that it all wasn't a dream. To believe she fell in love with a person in her dreams. Or was he? Izuku contemplates what he should do. Before he got up, picking up a pebble beside him, tossing it at the girl's window. Surprised the young girl, she looks out the window and sees him. The love of her life. The guy she saw in her dreams. Izuku, she mumbles, before jumping up opening her window. Tears in her eyes as she looked at him. He also was crying, not believing that this was real. Was everything in the past fake? That's all the questions they asked at the moment. Wondering if the other still loved them. Slight pain in their chest. Momo, do you know who I am? Izuku asks worriedly. Of course, she doesn't. Yes, Izuku, I thought it was all a dream. I thought that you wouldn't know me. I was so scared. I woke up in a hospital a few days ago. They told me I was in a coma. I thought I lost you. She said, crying as Izuku looked at her sadly, wanting so badly to just hold and comfort her. I woke up today. It was the same with me. I didn't know if you would remember. Momo, I still love you. Will you still be my girlfriend? Izuku asks her and she smiles. Of course, you're mine, she says, making Izuku chuckle. Momo hears her mother's footsteps coming up the stairs. Momo quickly tells Izuku before the door opened, revealing her mother a frown on her face. Momo looks at her a little nervous. What's wrong, mother? Momo asks wearily. Her mother walks over to her and slaps her, clearly pissed off about something. Momo falls to the ground from the strength. Her chair falling to the right side of her. Momo holding her cheek as she looked at her mother. Before something snapped in her. Momo getting up and glaring at the women before her. Then she thought about something. Just giving up. We can't ruin the plan. Right. That was until Izuku jumped through the window. It shattering from the impact. Glass flying across the room and onto the floor. Momo's mother screaming in surprise. Making her father run upstairs in worry. Izuku grabbing Momo by her hand. I'll be taking my girlfriend back now, Izuku says before the two of them disappeared. The two of them appearing in a familiar memory. Their treehouse. The both of them smiling at each other. Then kissed a little bit. Like they haven't seen each other in ages. The fear of losing each other was real. So when they finished kissing he looked into her eyes. Momo, when we graduate, would you marry me? He asks her. She gasps in shock as tears welded up in her eyes. Then she jumped on him in happiness. Yes, she yelled as they fell to the ground. The both of them laughing. Until they realized something. Wait, we would have to do our training all over again. They both yelled in despair. Before they both laughed at each other. Before they finally got up. The next day they went back to their training ground. Starting their training all over again. From the very beginning. Izuku and Momo still went to school every day. Nothing changing at all. Even Katsuki bullying every day didn't change. The only thing changing was them. They were stronger, balanced, flexible and smarter. They learned everything they didn't in their dream world. Plus some. Mastering their past abilities. Improving their quirks. They were getting stronger than ever before. Yet no one knew. Will they ever? Beep beep beep. Waking up he gasps in shock. Looking around him worried. It was bright, very bright. So bright that he couldn't see anything. Looking down he sees white sheets. Scaring him a bit. Looking over to his right he sees nothing. Momo being nowhere in sight. Only a large window. White curtains blowing in the wind. As the window was open, he heard a beeping noise in the background. Yet he could barely see anything. Was this another dream? What is happening to me? Where is Momo? Why is it so bright and white? AI back in the hospital again. Getting up he feels something yank him back. Looking over he sees a colorful cord connected to him. His heart skips a beat as fear ran through his veins. No, this can't be happening. This can't be real. What happened? She was right there. We were going to get married. I can't be back in that hospital. Momo. Where is Momo? Where is my girlfriend? I need to find her. Izuku tries to swings his legs over the edge, only for him to run into something. His vision finally coming back to him. Just for him to realize. He was home. Momo laying down on his left arm. Holding onto him tightly. The window being his. The white sheets were Momo's idea. The beeping being his alarm clock. Which shut off. While the cord, it was just his headphones which got caught on him when he got up. Which made him smile and sigh in relief. Laying back down he grabs Momo's waist and pulled her into him. The both of them smiling as they slept. Pain. That was all he felt that day. It was the graduation day for middle school. The teacher going on about the kids wanting to go to UA. Izuku not caring that much. Well, at first. Yet who cares about that? You all want to be heroes, right? The teacher says, throwing all the papers up in the air. The kids all cheering and showing off their quirks. Until a loud and rough voice yelled. Hey teach, don't lump me in with all these extras. Bakugo yells in the background. His hands on his desk as he glared. The teacher thinks. Oh, that's right, you are applying for UA. The teacher says with his hand on his chin. Bakugo just puffs out his chest. A smirk clear on his face as he laughed. Hell yeah, I am, he boasted. Before the teacher spoke up once more. Ah yes, I almost forgot. Mr. Midoriya, didn't you apply for UA as well? After saying this, all the kids started laughing. Deku, him being a hero, someone yells in the background. Izuku ignoring them, until Belugo got up and slammed him hands down on Izuku's desk. Izuku not responding or caring, making Bakugo pissed off even more. So he grabbed the collar of Izuku's shirt, making him sigh. Will you not stretch out my clothes? It's fucking annoying. Izuku growls, looking up with his head still down, making him give a cold and dead look, making everyone in the classroom shiver in fear. The fuck you say to me, Deku? Bakugo yells, making Izuku growl in anger, slamming him hands on his desk. He smirks towards him. I fucking said get your hands off my fucking clothes, Bakugo. You were stretching them, you piece of fucking shit. It's fucking annoying, you asshole. He yells in his face. He was clearly pissed. The shocked looks on everyone's faces. As well as Bakugo's. They never truly knew Izuku. After all, he was a quiet kid. Bakugo hasn't seen Izuku in years. Izuku has changed and he never knew. Too bad. Bakugo growls at the boy. Yet Izuku just gave him a huge smirk. Before he started mocking him. Making him more upset. All little Bakugo is angry. Didn't get any dick today. That's okay. Maybe next time. Izuku says, making the kids back up in fear. The looked terrifying. Especially Izuku. He changed and it was obvious right now. Bakugo yells I anger, trying to punch the boy in front of him. Only for Izuku to sidestep and trip him. Making him run into the wall. Izuku shakes his head and walks out of the classroom. His bag in hand as he left the school. Immediately going back home. The treehouse. Momo wasn't there yet since she didn't ditch school. So Izuku went to the training grounds. It helped him think and let out his pent-up emotions. So that's what he did when he got there. Immediately summoning a sword and some dummies. He let out all his emotions. Which mostly consisted of anger at the moment. He wanted to do this before Momo got home. He did want her to see him like this. He occasionally checked the clock, watching as each minute went by. Which got him thinking. Sitting down in a tree he thought about stuff. Mostly about his class and Katsuki. They all think I can't become a hero. They are scared of me. They hate me. They think I'm a monster. They all want me dead. That was when he heard someone call his name. Izu, I'm home. Momo yelled as she waved at him. Her smile aimed towards him. Making him happy, he gave her a smile. Jumping off the tree and picking her up. Hugging her tight, she squeals and giggles. Before Izuku kissed her on the cheek. Hello Mo, how was school? He asked her. She gave a slight frown as she pouted. Hugging him, she says in a low voice. There was some guys. They were so mean, Izu. They kept grabbing at me and calling me names. Then all the girls joined in. I don't want to go back there. I couldn't wait to leave. So when the bell rang, I grabbed my stuff and ran. I could hear the other kids laughing at me. It hurt, she told him in tears. Izuku frowning deeply as he glared at a tree. He was not happy in the slightest. Do you have any names? he asked her. She looks up at him and then giggles. Before shaking her head. You can't kill them all, Izu. The police would become suspicious. Then they would eventually find you. Putting you in jail. Then I would be all alone. She says. Izuku just laughs and wraps his arm around her waist. Shaking his head, he kisses her nose, making her blush a bit. Don't worry, Mo. I would kill them off slowly and one by one. No one would even know that it's a pattern. Before it was too late. The only people being alive would be you and the teacher. You would be a hero by then. They wouldn't even realize that your boyfriend killed them. They would believe it was the teacher. So he would automatically go to jail. With the fake evidence we would put. The blame being all on him. Izuku says, making Momo laugh. As she shook her head. Kissing him before walking into their home. Izuku quickly following after her. Momo walks into the living room. Grabbing a piece of paper, she writes down all their names. Making Izuku chuckle and walk over. Reading them over, he smiles. Then noticed that it wasn't all her classmates. Making the plan even better. It was going to be like a whodunit situation, which made him really happy. They wouldn't ever realize who was the real killer. I mean, there was never a killer. He was a hero after all. Right, I'm just being a hero. It was officially the real day of the exams. Izuku and Momo walking hand in hand towards the doors. They spent 3 months training like last time. Yet they didn't forget the time. They actually remembered. The two of them sat together. Searching around the room. They noticed the same people in their dream. They even acted the same way. Confusing them to no end. Yet also amazed them in a way. Was their dream really a dream? Or was it the future or some other dimension? They could never figure it out. All they knew was some things were similar and some different. The only thing that didn't change was them. Then President Mike walked on stage, with a huge smile on his face. He gives a huge grin when everyone whispered about him. He then goes up to the podium. Starting his speech, he yells out, "Hello everyone. Welcome to UA Academy. I am President Mike, as most of you can tell. I will be helping and grading you all today." He screams on the top of his lungs, which made a lot of us cringe. "So are you all excited?" he yells to us. Momo and I smiled at each other. Hell yeah, we both screamed on the top of our lungs. As we both jumped out of our seats in excitement. Making Mike smile towards us as all the other kids and teachers looked at us weirdly. Making the both of us laugh as we high-five each other. President Mike finally replying back. "Thank you, young listeners," he yells, pointing towards us. The two of us sit back down. After we pointed back to him, grinning. Everyone else cringed as we all had fun. Did they not like having fun? President Mike going over each robot and the test. Finally getting to the 0 robot. He starts to speak before a kid hold up his hand. Mike points to him, which the kid got up. He looked so uptight and overall annoying. Which he was in our dream. "Excuse me, in the brochure it spoke about blah 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 blah." He continues on and on. As Mike speaks about it. Then the kids points towards Momo and I. Which we looked at him briefly before looking away. Which he spoke up anyways. "You two, if you aren't going to take this serious, then you should leave. This isn't a job for the immature. Also stop whispering and holding on to each other. This isn't a game. Take it seriously. You are annoying other people around you." He yells while pointing at us. Which made us laugh as we fell into each other. The two of us pointing and laughing at him. As he growled before composing himself. His red face made us laugh as well as others. While he just sat back into his seat. Trying to forget what happened. President Mike doing him a favor as he spoke once more. Continuing the speech. As the last word spoke of the speech was, "Go beyond plus ultra." As Momo and I yelled with him. Making him smile once more as we all left. Momo going one direction as I went the other. Us both immediately going to our exam rooms. Already knowing who I was going to be with. I sighed heavily in annoyance. This guy was definitely going to be annoying. Walking into the room, he sighed again. As he saw that it was exactly the same. Walking over to a space, he stretches. Before going to comfort the girl. Immediately being stopped by that guy again. Sigh. "Are you fucking serious, dude?" Izuku says, throwing his hands up in the air. As the guy blocked his way. Looking at him upset. Izuku shakes his head before shoving his arm. I can't allow you to bug her. Are you trying to sabotage her? He says, looking at me like I was a villain. A sharp pain going through my heart as he did. I glared at him, yet if you looked closer, you would notice the sadness and pain. The shattering in my heart visible. This was way different from the dream. This was way more violent. This hurt way more. Why was the world doing this to him? Did he really deserve this? Of course not. She looked nervous. I was going to go comfort her, I said before walking away from him and her. Walking to the front, I could feel everyone's eyes on me. As the bell rang and the door opened, signaling that the test begun, I immediately ran out the door and destroyed tons of robots. Others joined me later on, yet I didn't care. I already knew everything about everyone. As I got the information in my dream, it all still being true as I noticed. That was when the Zero robot came out. I was sitting on a building, eating goldfish crackers, watching others fight as I ate my crackers and drank apple juice. This is good stuff. Oh look, a robot. He's big. Wait, is it a guy? Or is it a girl? Contemplating on whether it was a girl or boy robot, I hear people running and screaming. As the robot walked towards them, I looked down to see the same thing in my dream. The girl from before stuck under some rubble. I summoned my sword and used Cheshire to destroy the robot. Before walking over to the girl, helping out of the rubble. Before picking her up, taking her to Recovery Girl and leaving. The ring of the bell signaling that we could. I immediately went to find my girlfriend. Her waiting for me outside. Just like the dream. As she smiled at me, knowing what I would do already. We both laughed as I held onto her hand. The two of us leaving the building. Until he came. You fucking serious? I mumbled onto my breath. Momo giggles at me, while I looked at the guy. He just rambles on about the same thing he did in the dream. Yet I wasn't having it this time. I punched him in the face and left. Momo laughing her ass off. As I picked her up bridal style and took her home. The two of us laughing about it later together. The next couple days were normal. At least for us, that is. A guy touched my Momo. I killed him. A girl flirted with me. Momo killed her. You know, the usual. Then the next thing we knew, our letters from UA came into the mail, which went like this. Izu. Momo yells running down the hallways. Before jumping into Izuku's lap, her beaming in excitement as she lifted up her hand, showing him the letters, which made him smile. So they finally came in, he says before putting down a knife. Muffled noises behind him as he picked Momo up. Bring the two into the living room. As the shut a door with muffled screaming behind it, which caused Momo to giggle. Izuku only shaking his head with a grin on his face. Pride radiating off of his shoulders. As Momo had her arms wrapped around his neck. Before he finally sat down on the couch. The both of them opening their letters. The same response coming out once more. Welcome to your hero academia. Making them both smile at each other. The two of them already knowing that they would make it in. Yet it still made them happy. Momo ending up in second place, while Izuku ended up in first, making him the representative of the class, in which he has to make a speech in the games, which he really didn't mind. Momo on the other hand didn't care about any of it, just wanting to be with Izuku, which she got her answer to. The both of them being in the same class, which was 1A. The both of them wondered who their teacher would be. Izuku made some guesses here and there, which also got Momo to start thinking. Then before they both knew it, it was time for school. Groan. Fucking lights. Izuku growls out, Momo snickering response as she got out of bed, making Izuku whimper as he tried to grab her to pull her back. Let's go, Izu. We have school to go to. Momo says as she pulled the blanket off of him, making him sigh in response. After a couple more minutes, Izuku finally gets out of bed, only for him to pick up the blanket and go back to bed. Making Momo huff in frustration. Grabbing the blanket once more, she ends up in a tug-a-warp. Izuku laughing as she tries to get him up, only for him to let go, sending her flying to the floor. Ow, Izuku, that hurt. Can't you just get up already? She begs him as she pouted, making him sigh once more before he finally gets up. Fine, he says before walking away to get dressed, changing into something that was most definitely not the uniform, which Momo laughed at him as she also didn't change into the uniform. The two of them already breaking the rules. In which they honestly didn't care about. Who cares about those uniforms anyways? Probably that stuck-up guy. Yet who cares about him? Izuku grabs his bag and walks into the kitchen. Momo made breakfast for the two of them. Since she wanted to be the perfect girlfriend, she also wanted to make Izuku wake up faster. Which didn't work out too well. Momo walks in right afterwards, wearing Izuku's favorite outfit, which caused him to smile, making Momo bounce in joy as she saw his smile. Afterwards she joins him for breakfast. Before they had to head to school, something the two of them really didn't want to do at the moment. Izuku wanting nothing more than to go back to bed and hold Momo, while Momo just wanting to be in Izuku's arms. Neither of them getting their wish that morning, as the two of them headed off to school, taking the train there, which Izuku never liked, his dislike getting worse that morning. Hey babe, how about you ditch school and your little friend? I could show you a funner time. What da ya thin? A man says, grabbing Momo's hand. Trying to pull her away, Momo slaps him in the face. I think you needed the education. Also your fucking breath stinks. I would never leave my Izu for someone like you. You smell disgusting and you sure look disgusting as well. Get lost, you pedophile. I'm not interested and sure as hell won't ever be. She says before trying to walk away, only for the guy to try to pull her back. Thump. She said she doesn't want to, asshole. She's fucking mine, so keep your fucking hands off my woman. Izuku screams in the man's face after punching him. The man, terrified, scoots back and runs away screaming. Hero. I need a hero. He's a monster. I'm the fucking monster. Scoff, please. He harassed a teenage girl, then threatens us and we are the monsters. He is fucking delusional. Izuku rants before the train comes to a stop. Momo grabbing his arm as they left, continuing on their way to school, hoping that this day would get somewhat better for them. They walked and tried to forget what happened, which was working somewhat well for them. So they walked into the school feeling a little bit better. Then they walked into their classroom. You gotta be fucking shitting me. Izuku mumbles under his breath. Momo snickering in response as she heard him, making Izuku smirk her way. Hello, you two were at the ceremony, right? I heard you were amazing during the test. Number 1 Izuku Midoriya and number 2 Momo Yaoyorozu, right? Oh Midoriya, I heard you were badass in the exam room. Oh dear, where are my manners? My name is Kirishima, a kid with bright red hair said, pumping his fist in the air, making Momo and Izuku just nod and stare. We should be friends, the kid yells once more. Momo and Izuku just nod once more, as the kid smiles big and hugs them, before he runs off once more, making the couple sigh in relief. What the hell just happened? Izuku asks before someone screams. That language shall not be used in this room. Have you no shame in yourself? A guy yells before marching over to them, making Izuku growl in anger. You. Izuku yells pissed off. You. Izuku yells pissed off, making the guy point at himself confused, before he comes to a realization. You're the kid from the exam. I see. My name is Tenya Iida. It's nice to meet you. Before the kid trails off waiting for Izuku to answer, only for Momo to answer instead. I'm Yaoyorozu Momo and this is my boyfriend Midoriya Izuku. It's nice to meet you, Tenya. Momo says, shaking his hand, making Izuku growl in anger, pulling Momo back a bit, making her giggle. How fucking dare you? Don't touch my fucking girlfriend, you ass. I will fucking tear you apart, you fucking stuck-up son of a bitch. You fucking hear me? Izuku yells at him and walked up to him. Momo giggling as Izuku was jealous and pissed off, his protectiveness making her happy. What? I wasn't doing anything. Why would you say something so absurd? That is not sportsmanlike. Iida says as he backed up a little panicked. Okay, settle down kids. We have class. A guy laying on the floor in a yellow sleeping bag says, his face showing utter boredom as he looked at them. Izuku glares at his new teacher, knowing who this was because of the past. He wasn't happy about this. First it was Recovery Girl and now Eraserhead. Momo seeing Izuku's anger as he clenched his fist, she grabs onto his shoulder and pulls him. Kissing him, she looks him in the eye, making him sigh, yet he walks away, making everyone confused as to what happened. Sitting down in a seat, Momo sits in the seat beside him. Looking at her lovingly, he gives her a smile. As she catches him staring, she started to giggle, making Izuku stare at her more in awe. Before they heard a cough. Their teacher staring at them from the front. Well, more like he was glaring them down. Will you two stop staring at each other? We have class to start with. Their teacher states to the two. Yet Momo and Izuku continued to stare. Yet this time it was at the man. The tension in the room thickened. As Izuku got up out of his seat. Opening a window he walked back. Making the kids sigh in relief. Intel. Hey, let go of me. Iida yells as he is yacked up from his seat. Izuku dragging him to his feet. Smiling at Iida very creepily. Making Izuku laugh as everyone shivered in fear. Let's be friends, Izuku says before walking away. Before Iida could answer he sat next to Momo once more. Okay. Now that that's over, I am Aizawa Shota, your new teacher. It took you several minutes to shut up. That's wasting precious learning time. He says before glaring at the class. Making everyone back up in fear. Everyone except the two lovers. TCH. Go to the gym room and change into your gym clothes. Then meet me outside, Aizawa says as he pulled out a gym clothes set showing the class. Izuku grabs Momo's hand as the two left the room. The class watching as they did. All of them curious about the two. Not knowing if they could ever figure them out. Aizawa had left the room before the class. Yelling back at them saying that they didn't have all day. Scaring the class as they all ran out the room. Everyone except Bakugo, who growled in anger. Momo let go of Izuku as them both separated. Leaving to their gym lockers. Izuku walking into the gym locker room. As he grabbed his gym clothes. Starting to get dressed. Then the door slams open making him look over. The other guys walking into the room. Before noticing that Izuku was halfway dressed. Iida shutting the door quickly. We apologize. We didn't realize you were halfway dressed already. Iida says bowing down. Don't care. Momo on the other hand. You sir are fucked. She hates when other women see me half naked. Yet I can't blame her. I hate it when others see her that way too. Izuku says before finishing getting dressed. Everyone watching him. He is muscular, and what's with the scars? Where did he get those from? Hey Deku, where the fuck did you get the fucking scars? Trying to act fucking cool, you stupid extra. Bakugo yells at him. His hand making small explosions as he yelled. Only for Izuku to ignore him. Making him slam Izuku into a locker. The other guys yelling at him. Trying to get him to back off. As Izuku looked at him bored. Fucking Deku, who the fuck do you think you are? You little shit. Bakugo yells in his face. As Izuku just yawned and looked even more bored. Pissing him off even more than he was before. Why you little? Bakugo yells before the guys pulled him off. Making him scream in anger as he yelled at them. Izuku only getting up to walk out the door. As everyone looked at him shocked. Aizawa being outside the door looks at him. Curious in what happened in there. Yet never mentioning it or anything. Izuku just sits down on the grass. As he waited for Momo to come out. Aizawa realizing who he was finally. You were that kid. He gets cut off. Shut the fuck, you bastard. Izuku yells at him in anger. Glaring at him with his head down. Gritting his teeth in anger. Making him look terrifying. Which scared the other students when they finally came out. Momo running to Izuku as she tried to calm him down. Holding onto his hand as she hugged him. Making him sigh but continued to glare. Aizawa backing up a bit but stops. Sighing before looking to the class. Okay, today you will be doing a test. Midoriya, how far could you throw without your quirk in middle school? He asks cautiously, only for him to respond with. Wouldn't want to fucking know, you asshole. Izuku shouts in anger. Momo laughing as she hugged him. Before she gets up and looks at their teacher. I wouldn't talk to him for a while. He can throw really far though. Someone found a ball he threw in another country. Yet with his quirk he threw it out of the atmosphere. It was super cool. You guys should have saw it. Momo says as she held onto Izuku tighter. Making him laugh at her before shaking his head. Okay then, show the class. Don't use your quirk, Aizawa says to Izuku, making him scoff. Only to be hit in the arm by Momo. Sighing once more he finally gets up. Stepping into the circle. He throws the ball and hears the machine go off. 126,578. That's quite impressive, Midoriya. Okay class, today the test will be with your quirks. Midoriya, I want you to throw the ball with your quirk now. Aizawa tells him. Izuku just sighing before teleporting the ball in a different dimension. Infinite. That's even more impressive. Good job, Aizawa says, before the class starts mumbling. We get to use our quirks freely. This is gonna be so much fun. Fun? You think this is fun? People get injured and die from doing this job. This isn't fun. If you think hero work is just fun, then you shouldn't be a hero. How about this? The person last place. You will be expelled from the school. Never coming back. How is that for fun? Aizawa says before he continued the test. Izuku and Momo just smiling at each other. The day went on, as well as the challenges they were supposed to compete in. Izuku had passed every one of the tests with flying colors, which surprised all the other students. It was quite terrifying what the boy could do, making Aizawa happy that he chose to be a hero. Yet did Izuku really? The day ending with Izuku coming first, while Momo was in second place. This purple-haired kid in last, which Aizawa said what he said was a lie, which all the kids threw a fit about. Yet none this was cared for by Izuku, him ignoring everything, simply because he wanted to go home. His bed seeming more interesting than anything anyone said. Unknowingly though, some kids stared at him, questioning why he was there in the first place. If you aren't going to take harrowing seriously, Midoriya, I might as well just expel you now. Do you understand me? Aizawa tells him with a glare. Izuku looks at him boredly, as Aizawa just kept glaring. So me doing everything I was told, is me not wanting to be a hero? That's just bullshit, Aizawa-sensei. Izuku says with frown on his face, the stinging in his heart not stopping, as Momo looked shocked as he grabbed Izuku's hand. No, I don't think you have what it takes to become one. After all, you look bored and you never show any emotions. Taking every task like it was chore. Not like you want to do it. You do it as though you were forced. You shouldn't be a hero. That's exactly why I am expelling you. Midoriya, leave the school and don't come back, Aizawa says before walking away from him. The other students staring in shock as they looked at the two. Then you are losing me as well. I am not being a hero without him, Momo says before she leaves to get their bags. Izuku looking at the ground. His heart had started to fall apart. First they left me to suffer. Then they do this to me. They aren't fucking heroes. They're villains, no. They're monsters. Tearing people apart without mercy. Ha ha ha, stupid Deku. I told you. You could never become a hero. You were weak and useless. Why would you even try? It was pointless. Bakugo yells as he laughed at him. Unknowingly though, Izuku's heart had shattered, the pain becoming unbearable. Ah, Izuku. I already told you. You aren't a hero. Why become one? After all, they aren't really heroes. They just claim to be ones. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a hero. I never will be one. After all, Izuku, we are the villain. Yeah, you're right, Bakugo. I'm not a hero. I never will be. I'm something so much better. Something that is so much more fun. I am something much greater, Izuku says before he bursted into laughter, making everyone stare at him confused and worried, as Izuku walked away from them. I'm the villain, Izuku whispers as none of them catches what he said, making him smirk in mischief. Oh, how badly Aizawa fucked up. Them wanting him to be on their side, yet they wanted him to be something more. Something better. Everyone wanting the boy to change, yet he wanted nothing but to be himself. Being in between an endless battle, before finally it stopped. Izuku walks back to the classroom, seeing Momo in there, tears streaming down her face as she packed their stuff. Izuku walking inside as he shuts the door. Aizawa opening the door afterwards, only to see Izuku kiss the girl and grab his stuff, making eye contact with the man, only to brush past him as he left with his girlfriend, walking down the hallways and out the school. Not realizing what event that was about to happen in the school, the principal and staff not being happy with Aizawa's decision. Yet all was too late. The boy had already changed. He finally snapped and broke into two. No one can change what was about to happen. After school in the school. What the fuck do you mean you expelled him? Everyone yelled at Aizawa. I mean that he didn't have the motivation and will. Also, it wasn't only him. His girlfriend Momo Yaoirozu, she left. She refused to stay in the school without him. Too bad too, she had potential, Aizawa says before yawning. the other teachers glaring his way. Yay, what happens when he becomes the enemy? Did you ever think of that? All Might yells at the man. Everyone else nodding in agreement. That's all you're thinking about? The boy is strong, I give him that. Yet he doesn't have everything you know. Besides, we shouldn't just keep a kid in when they don't have the desire to be a hero. He would have left eventually anyways. I already saw it in his eyes. If all we know, he could have been a spy. Aizawa says before putting his head on the table. You're wrong. Nezu says, making everyone look his way. Aizawa looking at him in shock, realizing he fucked up, as Nezu continued. The kid was strong, yes, he was also extremely smart. Gathering information like a sponge. Actually, I gotta say, he could rival my brain. I have many of his past teachers telling me that he has photographic memory. I also gave him a harder test than everyone else's. It being a test I knew only I could pass. He passed it with flying colors. Getting all the questions correct. Not only that, he didn't even hesitate to answer the question. He finished the test in 10 minutes. Nezu tells them, making the tense up in fear. Also the kid. He is very observant. Every second in his battles it seems like he got stronger. He was very powerful, he was. He would be a very powerful and dangerous enemy. Had great potential in being a hero. The look in his eyes. It looked like it was fighting against himself. Maybe that was what you mistook. He looked like he really wanted to be a hero. Yet maybe others told him he couldn't. So he fought against himself. Maybe put himself down. Yet you threw him away. You probably broke him completely. I don't know if he will ever come back here. Or what he will do in the future. All we could hope for is the best. Nezu finishes. As everyone looked down. All of them disappointed in themselves. They could have saved him. Yet they never did. Not in the past and not even now. Guess it just wasn't meant to be. It's been days since the incident. The teachers of UA searching for the boy. Yet they always came up with nothing. It seems as though the two had vanished. It was like they never existed in the first place. Yet they did. Right? Izuku and Momo. Well, they stayed in their treehouse home. Training endlessly as Momo never knew what was next. While Izuku knew what he wanted. Who he was finally becoming clearer to him. As his thoughts were finally slowing down. Yet his emotions weren't changing much. Making Momo worry about him. As he tried to cover it up. Yet nothing worked. I'm a villain. That should have been known from the start. After all, I killed all those people for her. She shouldn't be involved in this. What if I am ruining her life? Izuku sighs before getting off the ground. As he just finished training. Momo still practicing with her quirk. As she tried to improve some more. The two getting stronger each day that has gone by. Yet Izuku's emotions got worse. He finally gets up and walks over to Momo. She looks at him and quirks an eyebrow. What's up, Izu? Why do you look so upset? Did I do something wrong? She asks him, a bit worried. As the frown on both their faces grew. Momo, I'm a villain. Why are you still with me? I am fucking up your life. Izuku yells as tears streamed down his face. As he fell to the floor, clearly upset. As Momo looked at him upset. Why would you say that? She yells as she slapped him in the face. Izuku stares at her in shock. If you're a villain, then I am too. Did you forget that I killed all of those women for you? I am just as bad as you. Yet who cares about what the world says, or what everyone thinks about us and our relationship? I love you, Izuku Midoriya, and I always will. Whether you're a villain or not, I will always stand by your side. Not because you want me to, but because I want to. You got that? She says as she clenched her fist in anger. The tears in her eyes as she hugged him. Izuku just smiles and hugs her back. Yay, I understand. He says, laughing a bit at the end, making Momo punch him in the arm. Ow, he says. Making Momo giggle. This was their new start. Their new beginning and how they became the most feared of them all. The heroes not realizing what they have done. Or what they made him become. Yet Izuku knew he never felt more like himself. More people joined over time. Yet you'll meet them soon. One day or maybe never. It is all up to them if they want to be revealed or not. His group name was called, the Deranged Heroes or Anti-Heroes if you want. They have gone a long way. Making the world their bitch. Heroes fearing them. Yet the people loved them. Simply because they helped the innocent yet killed the evil. Destroy all that is bad in the world. Destroying heroes who want nothing more than fame and money. Putting the people who never really wanted to help and save lives. Izuku was their boss. Him being smarter and more powerful, coming up with the majority of all the plans. Momo coming up with the other half. The two being partners in crime. Guess you can call them the new Joker and Harley Quinn. Yet they were a whole lot worse than those fictional characters. The world already knew that. It's why the world fears them. Yet they loved them too. Even the villains loved them. Them having many allies and gaining more each day. Some of these villains being well known and having many followers. Only for the world to later know that they are allies with the infamous League. Gaining more followers and helping the League gain more followers. All in all helping both sides. Making the heroes fear for what they are planning. What were they planning? Well, you would have to stay to find out. Who were these allies of theirs? Well, you may already know them. The League of Villains being one of them. Izuku become great friends with their boss leader. Later on becoming friends with Tamura. Another ally being the infamous Stain. This man liking his ideas and what he is working for. He has becoming part of their group. Yet no one knows that yet. Especially when this man works behind the scene playing everything off. As though it was his usual crimes. Wait until the world knows those heroes he kills. They were all strategically planned out for them to die. Them being lower heroes. Yet later on they will move on to bigger ones. Think about it. A bigger hero works on his own. Wrong. They have all of the interns and sidekicks. Or they have people working on the side. The more lower heroes gone, the more us villains will reign. Simply because there's more sidekicks and backups. More than there is bigger heroes. All of those backups being gone. Leaves them wide open. You may be able to take out a portion of us villains on your own. Yet eventually you will fall to your knees and beg. Like the little pathetic mutt you heroes are. Izuku says to himself and Momo. The two of them laughing at the end. As a hero sat in a chair before them. Tied it up and unable to move. All the hero could do is squirm and scream. Trying to get away from the two. As they continued to laugh and torture the poor man. Struggling against their binds. Only for Momo to stab them in the hand. Ah! The person muffles into a scream. Izuku just looking at the man. Before he sighs and walks up to him. Say, why don't you make this more interesting for us? I thought you were supposed to be the hero of the people. Being lazy on only fighting when you have to. Helping the elder and just walking around and help the people. I thought you said this was bore. Telling the other heroes that you really didn't care about ranks or whatnot. Izuku says before leaning up to his face more. Staring him right in the face, looking him in the eyes. As he glared with a small frown. The man having tears in his eyes. As he looked at Izuku. Wanting nothing more to be at home in his bed. The man being a famous hero. Yet no one knew that he was missing or gone. How was this possible? Why aren't they searching for him? How long has he even been down here? You may have many questions. Let's start with one. You have been down here for I don't know 3 months now. It's kind of funny actually. None of the heroes noticed your disappearance. Them all acting as though nothing happened as they continued on in life. It quite impressive actually, the way they can pretend like nothing has happened. Even your fans have ignored your disappearance. Some fans Izuku says as he whispered the last part in his ear. Making the man jerk away. Izuku shaking his head at the man. You know this can all end. Just give us an answer. What do you want to do? Izuku says before walking back to his seat. As he sat down. His legs crossed and his hands on them. Waiting for the answer. Izuku continued to wait for the answer for a couple more minutes. Before he started to get up. Walking over to the hero before the screamed out. I'll join your league. You're right, they all never really cared. I also never cared about the fame or any of that. I just was a hero because others told me that I could and I should be one. Just please stop. The man says with his head down. Tears dropping onto the floor of the building. Welcome to the deranged heroes or anti-heroes if you want. It's great to have you Hawks. Izuku says before walking to him. The man being terrified flinches in surprise. Yet Izuku just walks over and unties the man. Making him fall to the floor. Only for Izuku to hold his hand out for him to grab. In which Hawks grabs in caution. Not knowing whether he should trust him yet. Izuku also still being weary of Hawks. while Hawks was still weary of Izuku. Let's go, Hawks. You should come meet the team. Or should I say your new family. You will become acquainted with us. You will be around us for a long time. So you should head to know your new family. Am I wrong? Izuku says as he looked over to Hawks. Only for him to be observing the area around him. Is something wrong? Izuku asks Hawks as her quirked his eyebrow towards him. Hawks just looks over to him. I thought I heard something. It sounded like footsteps. Yet they didn't sound like any of yours. Is there anyone else here that I never met in the torturing? Hawks asks Izuku. Maki my Izuku smile a bit. Yes, actually. You haven't met everyone yet. You have quite the hearing, I might add. You will fit in perfectly in this league. I should probably explain everything to you, I suppose. We aren't heroes, yes. Yet we aren't villains either. We try not to resort to violence. Yet you know shit happens. Izuku shrugs his shoulders nonchalantly. As Hawk's sweat dropped at his words and actions. We are called the deranged heroes, anti-heroes, for a reason. All our lives we have been put through pain. Heroes telling us we couldn't become one. Or the heroes never coming to save us when we need them. Only for them to save the rich or important people in the world. Leaving us behind to suffer. The words they tell us forever haunting us. They claim to be heroes. Yet they hurt others for fame, glory, power and money. That isn't a hero. Izuku growls as he clenches his fists in anger. Hawks watching from the sidelines. These kids. They suffered and no one helped. The heroes never helped them. Only threw them away. I understand why they do this. They want to protect everyone. Trying to become real heroes. Only to be called villains by the so-called real heroes. The people praise and love them. Yet the heroes hate them. Attacking and trying to take them down. Everyday villains. No, people live in fear of what heroes would do to them. As they try to survive in an evil world filled power-hungry people. Hawks thought before they made it into a room. Only a small group filled the big room. Having tons more space inside. Inside the room were. It's just a bunch of kids and a few adults. Hawks looks ahead of him in shock. Looking at the group of high schoolers. Before noticing a few infamous people. Making him gasp in shock. As he saw the infamous Stain sitting there. Then saw a few groups walking into the room. A girl with blonde hair running to Stain. A huge grin on her face. Stainy. She squealed trying to pull him into a hug. Only for the man to dodge her and walk away. Clap clap. Everyone looks over to see Izuku standing there. A huge smile on his face. Okay everyone. We have a new member. You may know him as Hawks. I convinced him to join us. Isn't that wonderful? Izuku says giggling. Everyone groans and rolls their eyes. Okay, so I want all of you to introduce yourselves. Izuku says before hopping off his so-called stage. Before he sat down on the edge of it. Signaling for everyone to start. Hello. My name is Togehimiko. I am a follower of Mr. Stainy's here. My quirk involves blood. By drinking someone's blood I can transform into them. Isn't that so cool? Anyways, can I have some of yours? She yells excitedly as she got up in his face. Making Hawks stumble back in surprise. Toga, stop it. Izuku yells at her, making her walk away dejectedly. The name's Dabi. Don't overuse it, he says before walking away. Toga comes back and squeals a bit. Dabi's quirk is a flame quirk. He completely cremates someone with it. His flames are also blue. It's really cool, she says before dodging as a blue flame missed her. Dabi's standing there with his hand out. Shut the fuck up, he says before leaving. Toga's sitting on the floor laughing at him, before she gets up and runs after him. A minute later you hear a huge crash. Tamura Shigirkaki. My quirk is disintegration. Tamura says before he also left. A guy that was basically mist then walks up. Wearing a fancy suit. Hello. My name is Kurogiri. My quirk is portals. Yet I also have a body of mist. So it works well in fights as well. Our group was the League of Villains. Yet we joined Izuku as our boss's request. I hope you have a great time here. I bid you farewell. I have to make sure they don't make any more messes. He teleports away. Going after his group. When more people walked up. These guys also being in the past group. Hello. My name is Mr. Compress. I can compress people into little orbs like this. The person next to me is twice. He can my doubles of people. He also has a multi-personality situation. Anyways, I should catch up to them. Who knows what trouble they're causing at the moment. Compress says before he walked away. Hello yo Compress. Hey, where you fucking going you ass? Wonderful person, twice says before running after him. Izuku sat behind Hawks laughing silently. As Hawks just stared ahead of him highly confused as to what happened. Mr. Compress and twice running away. Trying to catch up to their group. Not caring about what was happening behind them. As Hawks waited for whoever was next. When the next person who walked up, it was someone who he already recognized. Everyone knew who this guy was. He was infamous after all. The name is Stain. Yet you already knew that, didn't you? My quirk. After drink someone's blood I can paralyze them. He says before walking away. Not caring about fully explaining everything or not. Or even if it made sense to Hawks. He just left him standing there in confusion. My name is Shinso. My quirk, well, how about I show you? How do you like it here so far, Hawks? It's quite interesting here, isn't it? Shinso asks him. Yee, Hawks freezes. Only for Shinso to give him a slight smile, before letting him free again. Making Hawks look at him in shock. What was that? Hawks yelled in surprise. Shinso just gave him another slight smile, in which Hawks looked even more confused. By asking a question. If the person replies, I can control them, although I have been training and getting more powerful with it. So I can do a lot more now. I can also do it against the stronger-minded. In which you were. Quite impressive, Hawks. Almost couldn't get past you. Yet all that torturing left you a little, what's the word? Weak and helpless. Oh. Vulnerable. Shinso tells him before he left Hawks standing. Like everyone else did. A minute later, Izuku's favorite person walks up. His lovely girlfriend and soon-to-be wife. She was wearing a black dress with her hair in a side braid. Hawks watching from the sidelines. As she walked over and kissed Izuku. Before he sat on his lap. The both of them looking at Hawks. I guess it's our turn to introduce ourselves, huh? Izuku says as he looked at Hawks. Making the man shudder as an unnerving feeling ran down his spine. You already know my name. Yet I guess I should tell you my quirks. I won't be explaining them for you. Since they are self-explanatory. They're also written down in the books in the library. As well as many other quirks. Along with the quirks of the people here. Yet those are locked. You would have to get one us to go with you to read any of those. Or you could get us to explain them to you. Izuku says to him before he continued. I don't want any traitors in league. So watch out. One wrong move and you're dead. So good luck. Anyways, my quirks. They're Cheshire, summoning, punishment and emotions. You can take a guess what they do. Izuku says before Momo starts her introduction. Hello, my name is Momo. You don't need to know my last name. I have been disowned by them. Yet you should know that I am soon to be Izuku's wife. My quirk is creation. I can create anything I want or need. Yet I need to know a lot of stuff before I could do that, Momo says. Hawks nods his head. While he looked at the happy couple, Momo finally get up as Izuku followed. They both signaled for him to follow. Hawks slightly nodding before he followed after them, quickly catching up. We should show you to your new room, since you will be staying with us from now on. We had Toga go with Dabi to go get you stuff from your apartment. They said they had a huge blast. Well, at least Toga said she did. While Dabi said he wished he stayed home. Meaning Toga caused trouble again. Yet we will just ignore that information, okay? Okay. Oh, look at here. This is your room. Welcome to your new home, Hawks. We have someone come by to show you around. Izuku says while Momo continued for him. Breakfast is around 8 o'clock in the morning. We have tea time at 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock per request by some people. Which you haven't met yet. They're busy on a mission for us. Oh yeah. Lunch is at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. While we all have dinner at 8 o'clock at night. Let's not forget about fun nights. Saturdays are for movie nights. While Fridays are for game nights as well as Mondays. I can't tell you the exact time though. Since it always changes with everyone's schedules. I hope you like it here, Hawks. We'll see you later today. Momo says as she walked away with Izuku. The two of them holding each other's hands. Before they turned around. Momo gasping in shock. I almost forgot. We have a trip coming up soon. We are flying somewhere. I will give you the details later. Just pack for summer, okay? Momo yells excitedly as she skipped off, with Izuku trailing off behind her, him looking at her with a smile. Hawks smiles before he walked into his room. Looking around, he smiles. It looks the same as my apartment did. They must have wanted me to be comfortable. Sigh, these people. They act just like a family would. They even have game nights and movie nights. Scheduled tea times and family meals. Not to mention they're going on a family trip. They don't even act like villains either. They act like regular people for the most part. They're kind of awkward and weird. Yet they can be villainous sometimes. They are. Interesting. Hawks sighs before he laid down on his bed, closing his eyes for a while, waiting until finally there was a knock at his door. Getting up, he opens it to reveal Shinso. Next thing he knew, his tour of the place started, then it ended, making Hawks sigh in relief, as the place he was in, it was a lot bigger than he thought it was, making him slightly nervous for trying to walk around on his own, not knowing if he would get lost or not. Yet dinner time came around. Now it was his turn to get him there, without getting lost, in which he did. Yet the scene he walked in on was questionable. The scene before Hawks was questionable. Toga was running around Dabi and Tamura. Tamura getting annoyed while Kurogiri tried to calm him down, while Dabi goes and throws fire her way, only to end up hitting twice, in which twice ran around the room screaming, "I'm on fire, someone help. Let me die," he screams, as two people walked into the room. The girl having a fire extinguisher and putting the flames out. The man behind her pats her head, before they both sat down. Shinso notices Hawks, signaling for him to sit down, in which Hawks immediately rushed to do, while Toga ran over to them, only for Shinso to pull out a, wait, what? Pulls out Spray's bottle and sprays her. Go away, Shinso says as she pouted and walked away, screaming about him being mean, only for everyone to ignore her, while Hawks still stared in confusion, confused as to what is going on. Are they seriously villains? They really don't act like it. In fact, they have been acting more like family and kids. They even help people, so why? Hey Hawks, are you gonna start eating? You've been staring at the wall for 20 minutes now. Are you okay? Is something wrong? Momo asks him as Izuku looked at him too. Well, make that everyone. They all stopped eating and looked at him. Yay. I was just thinking about something, Hawks says. Momo tilts her head in confusion, as Izuku finally speaks up. What are you thinking about? He asks him. Oh, nothing. I was thinking about why everyone thinks you guys are villains. You act more like family and you help people. I don't consider that a villain. I consider it being a hero. So it just make me wonder. Hawks says, making everyone think and nod their heads. Izuku looks at Hawks and starts laughing, making Hawks look at him in surprise. I'm sorry. It's just that's a first. Anyways, like I told you before, heroes don't like us, simple because they know that we speak the truth. We are also a lot stronger than them. We are smarter, so they know that we can destroy this false truth they put out. They aren't heroes. The people now are staring to realize this. So the heroes told them we are villains. Simple. Izuku tells Hawks and shrugs his shoulders. Before they all went back to eating their food. Before he knew it, they were all done. Then he was heading back to his room, in which he started reading a book. Not too long later he was asleep, when someone walked into his room. Looking at him, before there was a poke in skin, blood coming out into a vial, making the person giggle before they ran off, leaving Hawks to continue sleeping for the rest of the night. Skips and paw change. I woke up and decided to take a walk. It's been a couple months since Hawks joined. He fit into the group perfectly. Although we had to scold Toga when he came. She just had to steal his blood while he was sleeping. Annoying. Izuku, someone asks him as he walked. Turning around, he saw someone he wish he never saw. Ah, Bakugo, Izuku says as he gritted his teeth. A obvious frown was on his face, while Bakugo looked ready to cry, as he held back tears. I missed you. I am so sorry for what I did to you. That really wasn't heroic, and I know that I have done so much that I shouldn't be forgiven, and I won't blame you if you don't. I really deserve it. Just please give me another chance. I will make it up to you. I promise. Bakugo yells as he got down to his knees. Tears now streaming down his face as he cried. Get the fuck up. You look pathetic and like shit. It's disgusting. I will give you another shot, just stop. This really isn't like you. It's creeping me out, Izuku says, and Bakugo looks up and laughs a bit. Before he got off the ground, the two of them go to a coffee shop to talk. Izuku got something sweet, while Bakugo got something spiced to eat. The two of them getting some coffee. Bakugo starts telling him about what happened in UA. They threw me out of the school, telling me I was a villain, that I could never become a hero because of my language and anger. I have since changed, yet still, they don't want me. They said my quirk is villainous, that all I could ever be is a villain. My parents threw me out of the house. They are disappointed in me. They don't want a villainous son. Yet I am not a villain, I'm a hero. Katsuki yells and starts tearing up. Yay, I know how you feel. My parents, they abused me all my life. 'Cause a doctor told them I didn't have a quirk. He lied, I had 4. Them all being extremely powerful. That day I was beaten so bad I almost died. I called the doctor and he took me to some place. They experimented and tortured me. Later on the heroes found me. They promised to protect me from them and my parents, giving me a phone to contact them. I called and called many times. They never came to help me. Then they tell me I am evil, that I'm a villain. I will never become a hero or become anything. They aren't heroes. They are villains, Izuku says, clearly upset. Katsuki looks at him shocked, as he never heard about any of this before. While Izuku just ate his food, drinking his coffee, when something surprising happened, which shocked and confused him. Can I join you? Katsuki yells in desperation, making Izuku spit out his coffee as he coughed. Are you serious right now, Katsuki? You really want to join? Izuku asks him in uncertainty, not knowing what to do yet. Yes, I am 100% positive that I want to join. I want to be friends again. I want to make up for what I did to you. I also want to get revenge on those so-called heroes. Let me join you, please, Katsuki asks once more, before Izuku finally made his decision. Okay then, welcome to the league, Katsuki, Izuku says, making Katsuki happy. The two of them shake hands. Izuku took Katsuki to the hideout, showing him around the place and to the unused room in the hideout, making it Katsuki's. He also introduced the league to him. Katsuki followed Izuku like a lost puppy, not knowing what to do. This place was unknown to him, so he didn't fully know where to go. The place looked and felt like a maze. It messed with your mind. Once you think you got a hang of things, it changed upon you. So Katsuki stayed by his side. He wouldn't want to get lost. Who knows what would happen if he did? He might end up in some nightmare. Maybe there would be a few broken walls in the future. Izuku leads Katsuki down the endless hallways, the two finally reaching a sizable room with double doors, making Katsuki confused yet in awe. As he stared at the two doors, he noticed they both were different. One was black and the other being white. The black one had angel wings while the other had devil wings. Curiosity coursed through his veins at that moment, wondering what was beyond those double doors. Don't go in this room. Your curiosity might get you killed, Izuku says to Katsuki before walking away. Izuku then turns around to wait for Katsuki, making Katsuki scurry towards him, before the two then continue the tour of the place. Why aren't we allowed in that room? What's in it? Katsuki mutters under his breath. Izuku, catching it, yet remains silent as he pretended not to have heard, noticing Katsuki sigh in relief. Katsuki not even realizing his mistake, making Izuku chuckled under his breath. Katsuki not noticing. That was when the tour ended. Izuku leads him back to his room, handing him a piece of paper, making Katsuki look at Izuku confused. Izuku just sighs and walks away from him, not giving him an answer, making Katsuki look down at the paper, noticing that the paper was a map of the place. Katsuki smiles in content. So he gave me a map. He must be worried about me. That stupid kind bastard, always helping others instead of helping himself. It could be the end of him one day. He should be careful. He has lots of enemies. Lots of people want him dead. Yet here he is, trusting his old bully. He does it like it was nothing. Like I did nothing to him in the past. That bastard. You stupid bastard. Why? Why do you have to be so kind? Katsuki sobs as tears streamed down his cheeks and on the floor. Before he fell to his knees in tears. He quietly sobs as he held the map close to his chest. His heart ached from the pain he felt. The memories of his hurting the poor boy flooded into his brain, making the pain worse for him. As he felt dread and sadness in his heart, not realizing that there was someone standing outside his door, their hand raised up before they walked away, a small smile on top of their face, as they skipped in slight joy. Katsuki stayed on the ground crying for another hour, before he finally gets off the ground, walking over to his bathroom to look into the mirror, his reflection looking back at him, staring at his bloodshot eyes and red face. Once in a while, a stray tear running down his face, only for him to quickly wipe it away in anger, frustrated as to why he would do such a thing. I don't deserve to cry like this. I fucked up. I fucked up really bad. I deserve to feel this pain. 'Cause I did a whole lot worse to him. I deserve all that I get thrown back at me. I deserve it, Katsuki says before doing his nightly routine. He then goes back into his room to change clothes. That's when he heard a knock at his bedroom door. Walking up to it, he slowly opens the door, peering his head out to see a ghostly man figure. The man wore a black suit and tie, making Katsuki look at him confused, before he remembers who this guy was. Kurogiri was it. Is there something you need? Katsuki questions with a quirked eyebrow and a frown on his face. All Kurogiri does is look at him. Indeed, yes, there was. Dinner is ready. Izuku told me to come and get you, Kurogiri says and gestures Katsuki to follow him. Before he walked away from the room, Katsuki quickly follows after, not before closing and locking his bedroom door though. How are you liking it here so far? Kurogiri suddenly asks him, surprising to him a bit. It's quite nice actually. My room reminds me of my old room. Yet it is much bigger and more comfortable. The people here don't judge others, as I can tell. It makes me feel like I am part of the family you guys created. It's nice, warm, and it's safe. As I can tell, you guys are forgiving, which is. Katsuki pauses, making Kurogiri look at him. Which is what? Kurogiri asks as he stopped walking to look at him. Katsuki looks up at him and gives him a rare smile. It's new. Not many people are like that, especially with what others have done. Yet you guys are forgiving and are kind. I feel like I can be myself, not having anyone cram their beliefs and what they want me to be down my throat. Which is a breath of fresh air. It's new, Katsuki says before he looked towards the ground. Kurogiri looked at him before they started walking again, heading to the dining room, where everyone was getting ready for food. As they opened the doors, everyone looks over before they heard. Gasp, I am so sorry. Someone yells across the room. Before they ran across the room to them. As Kurogiri and Katsuki stood there clearly upset. Pies falling to the floor, as they were both covered in them. That was when everyone fell to the floor in laughter, making Katsuki run after the person who threw it, which was Izuku. Katsuki yells in rage, as he ran after the laughing boy, who booked it to the left side of the table. Katsuki running after him. This made Izuku laugh harder. The two of them ran around the table, making everyone around laugh at the two, until suddenly they both stopped and everyone became silent. Everyone looking over to the doorway, which someone stood. It was Momo there standing in the doorway. Her arms were crossed, and she frowned at them, an obvious glare on her face as she watched, making everyone shiver in fear. She walks into the room and sits down at the table. Everyone quickly follows her lead. So have any fun, Izuku? Momo says to him, making him shiver in fear. He just nods nervously as he sat next to her slowly. She just sighs quietly. Only Izuku caught what she did, which made him freeze in fear, making everyone look at him in worry, also scaring the majority of them. She then picked up a spoon and a glass, clacking the both of them together. Ding ding. Okay, everyone, it seems we have a recent member. Katsuki Bakugo, it's a pleasure to see you again. I'm glad you joined us. We are happy to have you on our side, Momo says as she clenched her teeth. Izuku looks at her with a warning look, only for him to scoff at him. sitting down as she crossed her arms once more. Okay then, let us eat. Izuku cheers. Everyone smiles and Izuku watched as the tension toppled, making him sigh in content. Katsuki quietly sat at the table, watching as all of them ate the food slowly. He looked over and saw Momo. She sat at the end of the table with Izuku. She sat with a napkin in her lap. She ate the food slow and gracefully. Her manners and ways were impressive, making everyone look at her in awe. After all, she knew the way to do so. Slap. Izuku. That's not the way one should eat. It's very rude and disgraceful. Try again. Momo yelled as she slapped his hand with her own. Everyone stared and tried to stifle their laughter, only for Momo to look over and glare at them. Them all gulping and immediately stopped, knowing that she could beat them any second. She also could be quite terrifying if she wanted to be. Besides, she was also their boss. How about this, Momo? Izuku says, saving everyone, as she looked over to see Izuku, smiling as she sees him eating the food properly. That's perfect, Izu. You did amazing. I'm so proud of you, she says as she latched onto his arm tightly, kissing him on the lips before going back to her food. Before anyone knew it, dinner time was over with. As they all were taking their plates back into the kitchen, Izuku and Momo usually washed them all. Yet this time, Dabi and Toga were doing them, as it was their punishment for the night. Momo and Izuku laughed at the two as they left, everyone immediately going to their rooms for the night, while Katsuki stood there in confusion, pulling his map out of his pocket. Reading it, he slowly follows the directions, looking around in slight confusion once in a while, trying to get a hang of things. Before he knew it, he got lost. Well shit, are you fucking kidding me? He yells and explosions went off in his hand. That's when he heard laughter behind him, as someone started clapping in amusement. That was amazing, Katsuki. One wrong turn and you were automatically lost. Then you got so pissed off. That was hilarious. Izuku yells and bursts into laughter, falling onto the floor into tears, making Katsuki growl in anger as he charged after him. Izuku quickly jumps off the ground, running away from Katsuki before he could get him. He runs down the endless hallways, as Katsuki ran after him, following closely, as he tried to grab Izuku, only for him to miss him from a distance, making Izuku laugh more as Katsuki started cussing. Izuku then stops after a while, Katsuki almost running into his back from the sudden stop. Izuku then turns around and smiled towards him. Katsuki then looks and realized where he was at. This is my. Katsuki stops and looks at Izuku, shocked. Izuku just laughed even more with a huge grin on his face. Your room. Yes, it is. You should go in and get some sleep. It's been a long day today, so you should go ahead in for the night, Izuku says and started walking away, only to be yanked back by Katsuki. Thank you, Katsuki says before going inside his room. Izuku looked at the closed door, giving a small smile before he walked away, going back to his room. As he opened his door, he got high with a shoe. Whack. Ow fuck. What the hell, Momo? That fucking hurt, you know. Izuku yelled from the ground. Looking up, he saw Momo in tears. Where were you, Izu? Momo screams in tears, her arms crossed as she looked at him for an answer. I saw Katsuki. He looked lost, so I helped him get back to his room. I may have pissed him off to get him there, so I ran away and towards it to get him there. Then I came back here. You have nothing to worry about, Momo. I only love you, no one else, Izuku says and hugs her. She nods her head and hugs him back. The both of them sit there for a while, before Izuku picked her up and carried her to bed. Covering her up, he quickly got changed, then turned off the lights before walking back to the bed, laying down with her as hugged her close. Smiles on both of their faces as they started getting tired. I would never leave you. I love you too much, Momo. I can't wait for us to get married, to have a life together, to have our kids and them calling mom. I can't let that all go. So sleep without worry, my love, Izuku says as he kissed her head, making her smile at him. I love you too, Izu. I can't wait either, Momo tells him before they both fell asleep. Months have gone by since that day, Momo and Izuku's relationship growing each day. Although Katsuki did hang around Izuku a lot, Momo knew Izuku wouldn't leave her for him, as Izuku told her this every day. the worry leaving and giving a sense of relief each time. Izuku and Katsuki have been getting closer to each other, finally becoming friends like they were when they were younger, doing the things they used to do in the past. Yet recently something started feeling off. Somewhere else, Katsuki starts heading towards a cafe. Looking around, he makes sure no one is watching him, before headed inside to meet someone, leaving quickly afterwards and back to the hideout. The way back was a long one, having to take several trains and another 15-minute walk. What was so important that he went all this way? Only he knew the answer to this question, which was a concerning things if you were part of the League. Your family not knowing where you have been. It's quite suspicious, wouldn't you think? Who have you been seeing as of lately? Katsuki Bakugo. Someone mutters to themselves as they jumped off the roof they have been sitting on. Walking back to the hideout, following Katsuki from a distance, watching as the boy pretended like he did nothing. He was hiding something from them all. Yes, no one knew that except him. Pretending won't do you any good when someone already knows your secret. Katsuki. Who have you been seeing? That's all I have left to find out. Yet it has to be big if you pretend like this. The person mutters once again, watching closely to Katsuki, before they both went inside the hideout. Ah, you were out too, Hawks. Welcome back. Katsuki Zhu got back 5 minutes ago. Where did you go? Izuku asks as he quirked his brow jokingly. Chill, I went to the donut shop down the street. See, Hawks says, holding up a bag, the donut shop logo being on it. Yay, donuts. Izuku screams before grabbing them out of his hand and running off. Wah, hey, those were mine. Hawks yells before running after him. Izuku laughing like a child as he continues to run. Izuku quickly makes an escape as he teleported away, ending up on the roof of the house. Sitting down, he grinned and looked up at the sky, eating the donuts from the bag as he watched the clouds go by. Momo walking up behind him, as she wrapped her arms around his back. A smile plastered on her face as he looked her way. Hello, my love. Here. Izuku smiles at her and hands her a donut, making her laugh. You stole Hawk's donuts again, didn't you? Momo says as she sat down beside him, taking the donut out of his hand, before she ate it with a smile on her face. Yup. Izuku yells cheerfully before laughing, as he saw Hawks flying his way, staying right in front of him with a frown on his face. Are you kidding me, Izuku? This is the 15th time this week. Hawks yells as he crossed his arms. Yet you still keep talking for the same tricks. It's kind of hilarious, to be honest. Izuku says while laughing at him, making Hawks even more upset as he watched. Oh, you're gonna get it now, Izu. Momo says before she got up, walking away from the two of them, as Hawks grabbed Izuku and flew away. Izuku screaming in fear as Hawks did loops and flew high up and dived downward. Stop it. Izuku screams in fear. This time Hawks started laughing, making Izuku hit him in the arm. Hawks finally flies back down into the roof, dropping Izuku off and quickly flying away, knowing Izuku was gonna hit him for what he just did. Before he flew down and back to the donut shop, ordering more donuts because someone ate his. Back again, Hawks. Let me guess, he stole your donuts again. A woman at the counter asks him. Sigh. Yup. Every time I come home with them, it's like he can smell that I have them. It's quite scary actually. I don't know and I don't understand what goes through that kid's head sometimes. Hawks tells the women, as they both shared a small laugh, before he paid for them and left. Walking down the street, he starts to eat one of his donuts before. Damn it, Izuku. Come back here. Hawks yells before running after him. Ha ha ha, you will have to come and catch me first, Hawks. Izuku yells as he laughed while running down the street. Hawks sits down in his room, writing in a small book he usually kept hidden, writing down everything he has saw Bakugo doing, from leaving late at night to early in the morning, to the places he has gone. Each thing he has saw got more and more suspicious. This worried Hawks as he continues to research and observe. Day by day, that's how he took it. Watching Bakugo like a hawk. Writing down everything he has saw him doing. Mostly the wrong and suspicious behaviors he's been doing. Knock knock. Hawks turns and puts his book away. Looking to the door, he sighs, before getting up to get it. Opening up, he looks at the person in front of him. So you've been spying on Bakugo, haven't you, Hawks? someone says to him as he looks in fake confusion. Now why would you think that Toga? Hawks asks her with a quirk in his eyebrow and his usually bored look, covering up the true facts easily. I don't know. I thought about the way you looked at him all the time. It's either you're spying on him, or you like him and take any chance to look at him. Guess it's just the latter. Oh well. Bye-bye Hawksy. Toga giggles before she slipped away from him, leaving Hawks standing there confused. I don't fucking like him, he yells after her before slamming his door shut. Sigh, that woman. She gets on my nerves. What is her deal anyways? It's like she likes barging into people's business just to get yelled at. It's like she's a masochistic person as well as a sadistic person. I wouldn't put it past her to be honest with myself. Hawks mutter as he slid down to his floor. Yet she knew. How? Has she been spying on me too? Does she know about Bakugo then? If she does, why hasn't she told anyone? Maybe I'm just overthinking this. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Yet again this Toga. She stalks her victims for years if she has to. Then she strikes. That's just who she is after all. I should speak to her. I get off my floor and open my door. About to walk out of the room, I stopped and paused. My mouth dropped as I looked at what was in front of me. Toga? Hawks asks as he looked at her. Yes Hawksy? She giggle a bit before she looks up at him. Who's that you have? Hawks says cautiously while he backed up a bit. She grinned wildly towards him. It's Mr. Bakugo. I thought since you liked him so much, that I would just bring him to you. Was I wrong? Oh dear, look at the time. He's gonna be so mad again. Yay. Here you go. She yells before throwing the boy at him, before she ran off once more. Sigh. You gotta be fucking kidding. Hawks yells before putting Bakugo on his bed, since the boy was passed out at the moment. I should have known. This fucking Toga we are talking about, damn her, always cause so much commotion. Now what am I gonna do? Hawks yells as he paced around the room, before he paused and looked at the boy on his bed. Grown Hawks stiffens in fear, watching as Katsuki scrunched his face up in discomfort. Slowly opening an eye, he sits up on his elbows, before he looked at the tense Hawks. Where the fuck is that bitch? Katsuki yells at him, anger. He clenched the sheets underneath him in his fist, as he growled. I don't any idea where she went. She said here you go. Threw you towards me, then ran off. She did scream about him being mad at her. Although I don't know who she was talking about. Never got asked because she left afterwards. How are you doing by the way? What did she even do to you? Hawks ask him. Bakugo frowns deeply towards him as he glared. Why the fuck do you care? Nevermore, how do I know you weren't in on this? Katsuki says before he looked around the room with his red eyes. She got the wrong idea. I haven't been able to speak with you. I mean, we never spoken at all since you got here. So I always looked at you in curiosity. Cause everyone seems to really like you. Yet Toga thought I liked as in I wanted to date you. So she giggled and ran off earlier today. I never knew what she was doing, until she came back and threw your unconscious body at me and left. I apologize, I never knew she would do that. I hope you can forgive me. Hawks says before bowing his head. Did you at least try to tell her that? Katsuki asks while looking at him. Katsuki had calmed down once he heard what happened. Hawks nodded his head. I tried telling her I didn't like you like that, yet she ran off before she could hear my explanation. She's always been like that though, Hawks says to him. How do you know? Katsuki asks him. What do you mean? Hawks asks him in confusion. How do you know that you don't like me like that? Katsuki asks before slamming Hawks into the wall. Hawks stared at him in shock, as his movements were being held back, Katsuki being on top of the poor man. That's when Katsuki got in really close, the two almost kissing as Katsuki looked into his eyes. You can't decide whether you like me or not, Hawks. After all you just said, we don't know each other yet. Katsuki whispers before walking back. Maybe next time, what do you say, Hawks? Katsuki says walking out of the room, leaving Hawks standing there in shock. Still looking at the door the boy just left through. That's when Toga popped up with a grin on her face. Guess there's a new couple in the house. I gotta go tell everyone, Toga yells before running off. Hawks shakes his head before running after her. Toga. In a dark and wet room. You can hear the sound as the water hits the ground. In the distance you could hear a group of people talking. Coming into a clearing, you could see a large clearing. A large circular table laid back in the center as light gleamed over it. People sat at the table as they started a meeting. So are we all set? A man asks. Yeah. We are ready to go. Just waiting for the date of the attack. Then we can take them down, the other person says. So who's our spy? He seems to be getting very comfortable there. He really should back up, bit, or he will ruin the plan later, someone else said. I think Bakugo will do just fine. He is very good at acting. He is also very determined to be the number one her, so I believe he will commit to this mission, completing with ease. Just you, wait midnight, a man says. Oh, how do you know that? He could easily back out any time. Warning that kid Izuku and his group. Then we all will be done for. They will kill all of us, Midnight yells. She is quite, Aizawa. Bakugo seems to be getting way too close to them. He could easily betray us, someone says. I don't believe he will. Everyone looks over and sees a tall figure. A huge smile on the man's face. As he continues to pose. How do you know that all might? The same person asks him. As they all sat in their seats. Eyeing the tall man that stood before them. Ahahaha. It's true he does act and talk like a villain. He also made the villains like and trust him. Yet the boy's mind is set on becoming a hero. Ahahaha. So we don't have anything to worry about. All Might yelled. Making everyone cringe slightly. Yet they all thought about what he said, before they all agreed. Okay then. That's all settled. Now let's move on to our next discussion, the next person said. Back with Izuku. So Kachin. Hawks seems to be more weary about you lately. Also Toga keeps screaming about the two of you. Is something going on? Izuku says, winking and nudging Katsuki, making the boy frown. No, yet Hawks apparently likes me according to Toga, so she keeps yelling about stuff. You know her. Always into that kind of shit. Katsuki says, walking away with his hands in his pockets. Izuku runs after him. Yeah, she can be that way. Yet I feel that she isn't wrong. I mean, you two look good together. Not gonna lie. Izuku says before running away. Katsuki running after him. You bastard, it's not like that and you know it. Get back here, Katsuki yells as he ran after Izuku. Back with Hawks and Toga. Will you stop bugging me, Toga? I don't like him, Hawks yelled while he ran away from her. Hearing her laughter behind him. Oh, come on Hawksy. I know you like him. Let me help you, Toga yelled as she ran even faster. Fuck off, Toga, you are misunderstanding everything. I don't like Bakugo, so there's nothing to help me with. Hawks yelled before he slammed a door on her. Aw, come on Hawksy, don't be like that, Toga yelled behind the door. As she continued to pout. Turning around she sees a smirking Dabi. He laughs before walking away. It's not funny, she screamed before chasing after him. The two of them ran down the hallways. As Hawks stayed in his safe room. What is everyone's problem? I don't like that kid. Right, this can't be fucking happening right now. I have a mission. I can't be thinking this kind of stuff right now. Hawks says, holding onto the door with frustration. What is wrong with me? Hawks mutters under his breath. Ever since Toga mentioned that and what happened between us. I can't get him out of my head. I had him in my head before for that other reason. Yet now, this is totally different. Eric, fuck, Hawks yells before throwing a chair into a wall. Sigh, shit, now I have to pay for that. Hawks sighs before leaving, going straight to Momo to pay for the chair. Then going to his room for the day. It was dark and stormy out that day. Izuku sat in his favorite chair, that was placed by the window in his large room. He hummed a soft tune as he read one of his favorite books. Momo laid on their bed as he did so, her being on her stomach also reading a book. Softly she hummed the same tune as she kicked her feet in the air. It's dark and stormy out when a man pulled a gun. A skinny frail girl surrounded sounded like fun. She screamed in mercy as the gun shot once. Yet a boy came running as he got shot twice. Where was he? For he was in front of her. Yet why was he shot twice when the gun only went off once? Izuku mumbled under his breath. Momo looking over to him as he read his book aloud. She pondered over the question. Maybe he was shot once before he got there. Then he took a bullet for the girl. Momo told him, yet he shook his head with a grim smile on his face. You're wrong. She screamed in mercy as the gun shot once. Yet smiled as he stood in front of her. For there was no other gun shot. 'Cause she had a gun silencer on hers. Shooting the boy a second time. It wasn't her that needed help. It was the boy, Izuku said to her. Momo looked his way and shook her head. That's sad, Izu. Why would you tell me such a story? Momo said before running to him in tears. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. Izuku says to her, hugging her tightly as they began to read a new story. Crash bang bang crash. Izuku and Momo both jump up, looking towards the door in surprise as the sounds of people breaking things and gunshots went off. The two of them geared up and ran out the door. Don't worry, for I am here, someone screams while they did hero poses. Probably expecting people to cheer. Yet no one did. Ah, young Midoriya, you look well, yet I am sorry to say this. You all are under arrest. Please do not give us a hard time. All Might says while he smiled big. Hawks then flies out. The heroes gasped and expected him to land next to them. Only for him to land by Izuku. Making Izuku and his team laugh. Hawks being on the floor in tears. While the heroes stared and fumed in anger. Hawks, you traitor. The heroes yelled at him. Making him laugh in a silent laughter as he couldn't catch his breath. He's not on your side. He hasn't been on your side for a long time now. You guys all did that yourself. You lost him. It's quite funny as you see. Izuku says as he gives them a huge smile. He continued to mock them as their anger grew. Izuku, Midoriya, we could have been allies and worked side by side. Yet you chose to become an enemy. So today will be the end of your little party. You will stop this, whether we have to kill you or not. What do you have to say for yourselves? All Might yelled in anger as he looked at them all. Welp, it's nice knowing you all then. 'Cause we aren't leaving. Oh no, we are finishing this game once and for all. Now prepare to die, All Might. Izuku yelled as everyone got ready to fight. Era, they all screamed as they go to charge each other. Izuku going straight after All Might, while All Might did the same to him. Who was gonna die today? Who was gonna win? Guess we will just have to find out. Asterisk. Off somewhere else. Why are we here, Katsuki? Someone asks the blonde. You asked that same question 50 fucking times, Toga. Will you shut the fuck up for once in your shitty fucking life? Katsuki screamed at her, making her laugh at him. Geez, Katsuki, you don't have to be so mean. Anyways, how are you and Hoxie going? Did you guys kiss yet? Or maybe you guys are already having some fun? She asked him and winked, nudging him with her elbow. While Katsuki slowly turning towards her. Him fuming in anger as he gave her a sadistic smile. Ah, is that a blush on your face I see? Toga screams before running away. After a huge explosion went off above her head. Get your ass back here, you fucking bitch, and fucking die. Katsuki yells before he chases after her, making her giggle as she ran away from him. The battle went on and on that day, seeming to never end and the outcome never to change. Katsuki and Toga getting there a few hours ago. This is where our story ends. A few hours ago. What the hell is happening? Katsuki yells in surprise. Toga and him running into battle. About time you guys got here. They just barged in and now we are in an endless battle. Dabi yelled, clearly pissed off. Take this, you fucking bastards. Katsuki yelled before letting off a huge explosion. Boom. After the explosion went off, the heroes backed off as the roof caved in, crashing down onto the spot they were before, making Izuku laugh as the heroes fled the spot. Ha ha ha, they fled. Nice job, Kachan. Although you could have been here a lot sooner, you know. Izuku says before pouting, making Katsuki laugh. Yeah, I'm here now. Give me some credit, Izuku. Katsuki yelled, making everyone laugh and some of them sighed. Izuku and Katsuki then tackled each other, forgetting about the heroes who stood on the other side of the room. Making the heroes clench their jaws in anger. All Might, not having any patience, immediately charged after the group once more. Don't forget about us, you villains. Justice shall be served. All Might yelled as he threw a punch towards Izuku. Izuku dodges the punch using one of his quirks, before he used his other quirk punishments to harm him. All Might falling to his knees in pain. Izuku, being smart, stayed away from the man, as All Might started screaming in agony as he held his head. That's when Eraserhead came in, throwing Izuku into a battle of hand-to-hand combat. "You're not half bad, kid. Too bad you aren't gonna survive today," Eraserhead said to Izuku, Eraserhead's scarf wrapping around Izuku's leg and throwing him across the room and into the wall. "You alright, All Might?" Eraserhead asks while he continued to eye Izuku. "Yes, I'm fine, thanks. It seems I underestimated the boy," All Might says while he got up from the floor. He then got back into a battle stance. This time Eraserhead stood by his side. 2-on-1. Heroes will do anything to win, won't they? It's quite amusing actually. The way you preach about protecting and saving people. Yet you overlook so many people who beg for your help. You only save people who will benefit you guys later. Oh wait, I almost forgot. You also do it if it gives you more fame. That's all you guys are. You're the true villains, not us," Izuku tells them. This making All Might upset as he charged towards him. His punch being dodged as his fist landed in the wall crumbling to the floor. Izuku standing far away from the two once more. "You know, you just keep proving my point. I mean, look at me. I'm just a child in society's eyes. Yet you threaten to kill me. Is that even heroic?" Izuku asks him. In response he only got another punch in his direction. Him dodging it once more. Eraserhead's scarf once more going for his legs. Izuku backflips backwards as he dodges both. Sigh. Will this world ever change for the good? Will we ever have peace? Or will it always be the same? Izuku questioned out loud. As long as you and your party is alive, you will never have any peace in this world. You guys are monsters. All Might yelled at Izuku. Izuku's family hearing this. You guys are the monsters here. They all yelled back at the heroes. Izuku looks towards the ground. His tears immediately coming back. Only for him to angrily whip them away. Monsters. Izuku mutters. I'm done. Let's end this for good. Fight. Fight. Fight until they're gone or we are. Let's EJD this madness. Let's win. Let's live. Izuku yells, making his family look at him in surprise. Before they all smirked and charged forward. Fight. They all yelled as they charged forward. Izuku runs forward and attacks the two. Teleporting behind Eraserhead and stabbing the man. None of them realizes what happened until Eraserhead fell to the floor. Eraserhead. The heroes yelled. It was all too late. That hour. That day. That minute. Eraserhead aka Shota Aizawa was pronounced dead. He was stabbed through the heart by Izuku Midoriya. His death being quick and painless. No one even saw it coming. This was how it all began. The war to end all wars. The battle to change the future. Now it all comes down to what happens next. Eraserhead was pronounced dead on the spot. Izuku stabbed in straight through the heart. Eraserhead. The heroes yelled in surprise. As Izuku took his knife out of the man. Whipping the blood off his knife using the man's dead body. Fight. Izuku yelled once more. This time Dabi laughs and charges. Burning down everything in his path. His aim was towards the hero President Mike. The hero immediately tries to stop the villain. His voice echoing through the building, yet he was scorched. Toga ran after the hero Midnight. Momo decided to team up with Toga on this. The two attacking the woman. Midnight using her quirk. Yet Momo created has masks blocking the quirk. That's when Midnight took her whip out. Yet Toga snuck behind the woman. While Momo distracted Midnight. When Midnight realized it was almost too late. Toga's knife was in her throat. Dabi then flew down next to them. A huge grin on his face. That's 3 down. Who's next? He laughs as he asked them. Before he leaves and scorches some more heroes. These heroes being Best Jeanist, Edgeshot and Snipe. The 3 being killed immediately from the flames. Fuck. We have people down. Mustard and Spinner is dead. Mimic yells across the room. The heroes have a huge advantage against us. There's more of them. Yet we have more power than them. So keep at it, everyone. Toga yells through the crowd. Overhaul then comes running out. Slicing down some of the heroes. These people being Night Eye, Bubblegirl and Blood King. While Dabi went for some more kills too. Him killing one more person. While Toga and Momo going for another team kill. The person they are going after is Yukio. This woman being able to transform into a dragon. In the far distance with Dabi. A stare down was going on. Hello. Endeavor says to Dabi. Ready to fight, old man? Dabi says while glaring at him. Do I even know you? Endeavor asks Dabi while he stared Dabi down. This making Dabi even more pissed off. You never changed, old man. You fucking asshole. Dabi yelled before attacking him. Endeavor contracts with his own flame. As the two engaged in a battle of their own. Only as the fight went on their flames grew higher and hotter. The two of them burning each other as well as themselves. Dabi, Toga yelled running towards him. As a huge ball of flames surrounded Dabi and Endeavor. Engulfing the two, Toga stands watching as both fell to the ground. Dabi, she screams desperately as the tears formed in her eyes. Running over to him she falls to the floor. Both men were burned to death. No, you said we would be together. That we were getting away. Dabi, I loved you. Toga cries as she held him tight. Momo watches as she stood back beside the now dead Yukio and Mount Lady. Bang. Wah. Momo quickly looks up. Before anyone could have reacted, Toga grabbed a gun and killed herself. Toga. Momo ran over to the girl. Holding her tightly, yet it was all too late. Toga was pronounced dead. This wasn't the end. At least not yet. There was several battles going on at the moment, in fact. Let's look around, shall we? Overhaul and Mimic. They were in a battle against Gran Torino, Gang Orca and number 13. Overhaul was winning, as you see. Gang Orca was now dead. Dying immediately as he went in to help. Number 13, who knows where he was. His suit was gone, so he was gone. Then there was Gran Torino all alone. He died last, yet he managed to take Mimic with him. All Might was fighting all for one. Their battle went on and on. Yet the winner was finally decided. For there was none. They killed each other. Both was pronounced dead. Fat Gum was in a battle with Muscular, and Twice. Fat Gum and Muscular was both killed in the battle. Twice somehow managed to survive. No one knows how though. Then there was the battle between Izuku and Nezu. Nezu and his intelligence managed to kill multiple people. Them being Gentle Criminal and La Brava. The two dying in each other's arms. Nezu also killed the famous hero killer Stain. Nezu then went on to his next mission. Before Izuku put an end to Nezu. Killing him in an instance. The war wasn't over though. There was still people left. Heroes. Kamui, Rock Lock, Smentos and Ectoplasm. Villains. Izuku, Momo, Hawks, Overhaul, Shigaraki, Kurogiri, Twice, Katsuki and Mr. Compress. The rest of them stood up and prepared for battle. That's when Izuku realized something. Looking around, Izuku wondered. Where the hell is Hawks and Katsuki? Did something happen to them or did they flee? Where the hell is Hawks and Katsuki? Did something happen to them or did they flee? Izu, more heroes are coming. We need to stay focused. Momo yelled at him, as everyone else prepared to fight. Overhaul and Shigaraki then runs out to fight. Shigaraki and Kurogiri going after Kamui Woods and Rock Lock. While Overhaul and Twice went after Smentos and Ectoplasm. Izuku shook his head and ran towards the group of heroes. Mr. Compress and Momo following after him. One by one the heroes went down. Off somewhere else. I know what you are, Katsuki. You are a spy. You were working for those heroes, weren't you? That's how they knew we were here. Did you ever truly like Izuku, or was all this a fucking lie? Hawks yelled. What are you talking about? Katsuki asks him. I followed you. You left every day, leaving and disappearing for no reason. Saying the same thing every time you came back. Don't you dare lie. Hawks yelled at him. Did you ever truly care about us? Were we truly family? Or was everything you said and did? Was it all just fake to you? Hawks yelled. Yet for once he did something unusual for him. He started crying. What is your deal, Katsuki? Why would you do this? They are all dying and do you even care? Hawks cried out to him. I'm sorry, Katsuki says before disappearing before Hawks. And we're the monsters, Hawks muttered before falling to the ground in tears. Back with Izuku. Hawatha, Izuku says. More and more heroes stormed into the place. It was never ending for the villains. Yet they all stood strong. Until. Compress. Everyone yelled. A hero killed Compress using their quirk. Making Izuku wake up. Looking around he noticed they were outnumbered. Even though they killed the stronger heroes. They were weakened and lost all their family. We are weakened and we are now losing. We need leave now. Before. Twice look out. Slice. Everyone's faces turned into pure horror. Right before their eyes, Twice was sliced into two, dying on the spot, a small smile on his face. Izuku teared up at the sight as one by one his family died. Kurogiri, teleport us away now, Shigaraki yelled as the two was being cornered by the heroes. Kurogiri tried doing what he was told until, "That's two more down, now to kill the last three." The heroes yelled. Momo, overhaul. When I give you an opening I need you two to run as fast as you two can. Got it, Izuku said to them. The two looked at him in shock. I'm not leaving you behind. You told me we would be together forever. That we are gonna get married and have a family. I love you, you can't do this to me, Izuku. Momo yelled at him. I'm sore. Izuku was cut off. Huh. Izuku looked down and saw a gloved hand in his chest. Looking back he saw Katsuki standing there. Katsuki looking down to the floor. KK Kachin, Izuku says before coughing up blood. Katsuki ripping out his hand as Izuku falls to the ground. Momo and Overhaul staring in disbelief and horror. Is Izu? Momo says falling to the ground next to him in tears. Grabbing onto him slowly turning him over. The boy coughed up more blood. As Momo held onto him. Hey hold on, I'm gonna get you help. Then we will live forever together. We made a promise. Remember, Momo says holding onto him. No. Izuku, hey wake up, Momo yells while trying to bring him back. He's dead, stop it Momo, Katsuki says before he killed Overhaul. As he just stood there in shock. Katsuki slowly walked over to the girl. Izuku, Momo stops as her blood splattered on the floor. I'm sorry, Katsuki says as Momo fell to the floor. Her falling next to Izuku. Katsuki stood there watching her. Momo slowly turns to look at Izuku. Grabbing his hand as the life slowly left her eyes. I cough love you cough Izu. Momo says before dying. Katsuki stood there in a blank face. When Hawks flew into the building. Horror evident in his face. The people he considered family was all over dead. You all are all monsters. Hawks screamed, as he flew down to kill Katsuki. Only for him to be shot down by a net. Katsuki slowly walking up to Hawks. I'm sorry Hawks, you should have ran. I love you, I guess this is goodbye. Forgive me, Katsuki says to Hawks before. Bang, Katsuki then walked out of the building. Tears flowing down his face. I hate heroes. I'm sorry everyone. Please forgive me. Forgive me, Katsuki yelled. Bang. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now we will see you in the next video.